Wednesday, August 26th. Today, the federal government announced its plan for counter tariffs, how Canada is striking back as the trade war escalates, and what we know about federal and provincial relief for businesses. Also today, dating robberies, how police say criminals were using an online dating platform to lure and rob unsuspecting victims. Plus books, bags, and bus passes. With back to school right around the corner, what you need to know about the rollout of free bus passes for students. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we're going to get all kinds of reaction to yesterday's federal announcement on the counter tariffs that will be imposed on the U.S. starting on September 8th. So we're going to have that throughout the 8 o'clock hour as well as at 7:52. But Ainsley today is hanging out with the Kidney Foundation. They have a kidney walk coming up. It's very important. Many people are living with kidney disease. It's a very, some people might not even know they have kidney disease until it's too late. So we're going to talk about the symptoms, what to look for, and why this walk is so important for people living with kidney disease. But first of all, let's talk about the weather. A little bit of rain yesterday, and then it stopped and it cleared up.
Yes, there was a threat of us getting some more later on the evening. It doesn't look like it materialized. I was checking all the weather reporting stations, so do email me if I missed you and you did get some thunderstorms late in the day. But for us, yes, we put that in our rearview mirror today at last. I can tell you that we don't need to have the umbrellas ready to go on a moment's notice. Currently, it's warm to kick us off, 17 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies. Winds have eased out of the northwest. They will be ramping up considerably. Details on that in a moment. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 94%. A lovely day ahead and a lovely stretch of days ahead, I'm happy to report, to the point that I have very little to show you on our radar or on our future cast. The kind of one area I can draw our attention to here is the northeast. You see these little speckles here. Low chance of rain for you, a good amount of cloud coverage. And as the day progresses, it kind of looks like our future cast has little freckles here or there. While we're staying nice and clear, and same goes for the northwest, so it's really just this little corner, and it is a low chance of precipitation, so likely you're going to be staying dry, if not a touch cloudy. Overnight tonight, not a lot changing. Skies remaining basically clear. A couple clouds maybe here or there for us in Winnipeg. I do want to mention the winds, though. I teased it a bit. They'll be very strong in the south, particularly in the Red River Valley, out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. They do ease overnight, and then into tomorrow, as you can see, not a lot changing. So much sunshine on the way through all of Manitoba, making this a bit of a dull hit. But you can see there is a little precipitation on our doorstep likely to arrive by the weekend for parts of the province, not Winnipeg. 24 degrees today, mix of sun and cloud, mostly clear. And then into Thursday, clearer skies as well, highs of 24 degrees again. And then we heat up very nicely into the weekend. 27 on Saturday and Sunday, overnight showers expected before Monday arrives with a little bit of rain.
Thank you, Catherine. Ottawa is balancing counter tariffs with billions of dollars worth of support in its response to the U.S. trade war.
So targeting products that will target states in the U.S. And so we're being wise and strategic to put political pressure.
There are more than 700 items targeted by retaliatory tariffs from Canada. Tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum are going up from 25% to 50%. Ottawa is also targeting U.S. products like seafood, cheese curds, smartphones, and video games. The counter tariffs will come into effect on September the 8th. Ottawa also announced $7.5 billion in support to help people and businesses weather the storm.
With the measures we're putting forward, this is really about supporting Canada, supporting worker communities and businesses.
Ottawa's support package includes measures like expanding EI changes as well as expanding loan and grant programs. There will also be money available to fund shovel-ready projects. Business owners say higher costs and an uncertain climate will be felt by consumers.
There's a 50% cost on wire that we put in new construction houses or renovations. It's going to bring the whole budget up and might put the average consumer on a holding pattern.
The cost of the counter tariffs could be passed on to people shopping for new appliances, building a home, or getting a manicure. To help offset the cost, the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses is calling on Ottawa to cut the small business tax break and extend its fuel tax holiday. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is weighing in on Canada's trade retaliation. Kinew says provincial government contracts will give preference to firms not from the U.S. and is looking at how these tariffs and Canada's counter tariffs will affect Manitoba businesses. This as Kinew confirms the province is drafting a tariff response of its own, saying he'll have more to share in the coming days.
I think it's important to have that balance, and you'll probably see us moving in a similar way as the province of Manitoba because, yeah, absolutely, we have to keep the corporate sector moving along. But if there are the impacts on the actual workers and the people on the front lines, we have to make sure that we don't leave those folks behind either.
Canada's counter tariffs come into effect September the 8th. Inside a BC steel mill, workers tell us why they think the latest government aid doesn't solve their biggest problem. CTV's Andrew Johnson has that story.
At Brenco in Delta, BC, they can bend metal, cut metal, and fabricate beautiful public art, but they have no tool to solve uncertainty.
We don't know whether we should be investing in equipment or battening down the hatches.
In a nutshell, doing business costs more, and finding raw materials is suddenly a problem.
Our suppliers will then leave product on the docks because they cannot bring it into the country without a 50% tariffs.
Brenco was named after Vanessa Heim's mom, a family business that's done well over 43 years. But over this unprecedented one, they've watched others disappear.
We had one of our largest customers leave the country last December. They shut their doors after 40 years, laid off 60 staff locally, and that was it. And they went to Texas.
This business expert says that is exactly what President Trump wants to see by making buying Canadian more expensive.
Those nuts and bolts have gotten a lot more expensive. There is a domestic supplier that I can use in the United States, and it actually would be cheaper. So I'm going to cancel my orders with you in Canada to avoid paying those tariffs.
Heim says the federal support announced today does not help her business. What would?
Allowing us to compete on a global market, which would include reducing taxes and increasing our ability to purchase automation, write off capital expenditures.
In response to criticism Ottawa isn't doing enough, the finance minister's office says it will work with industry partners to adjust programs to meet their exact needs. What it can't do is provide certainty, at least not yet. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Maternal mental health was once a taboo topic, but it's now making headlines. A high-profile trial is underway in the U.S. of a mother whose attorneys say strangled her 3 young children while experiencing postpartum psychosis. Experts say the focus on what some new mothers go through is long overdue.
That's such a prevalent condition, and yet people don't talk about it, and they don't recognize the symptoms.
Wendy Davis is president and CEO of Postpartum Support International. She says symptoms can start before, during, and after pregnancy and may be different for each person. They can include feelings of anger, irritability, and rage, lack of interest in the baby, disturbances of sleep and appetite, crying and sadness, feelings of guilt, shame, or hopelessness, loss of interest, joy, or pleasure in things you used to enjoy, and possible thoughts of harming the baby or yourself.
What happens is she thinks, I shouldn't have done this. I'm not cut out to be a mom.
Davis said the symptoms are temporary and treatable. She goes on to say resources are available to anyone and a diagnosis isn't needed to get help. A reminder, if you are in crisis, there is support available right now. It includes the WRHA Mobile Crisis Service if you're in Winnipeg and the Manitoba Farm Rural and Northern Support Service for rural Manitoba. Anywhere in the province, you can call the Clinic Crisis Line or the Manitoba Suicide Prevention and Support Line, and the National Suicide Crisis Helpline is 988. It's not every day you get a private tour of the Manitoba Legislative Building from the Premier himself, but that's exactly who showed a Winnipeg newcomer around. Andrian Maknecho is a Ukrainian refugee documenting his Canadian firsts. The TikTok star wanted to meet Wab Kinew on Ukraine's Independence Day. Not only did the Premier accept, Kinew also gave him a private tour of the government building. Kinew even invited Maknecho to sign his name in the attic, saying the Ukrainian is now a part of Manitoba's history.
He took me on the roof. We was like walking around. He showed me the areas around because it's still something I'm exploring where I want to live in the future. He was like, there's this Osborne Village, there's this building, you should check it out.
Magna Cho was also given a gift at the legislature, but wouldn't say what it was. Here's a look at what's happening right now in traffic along the Norwood Bridge. It's a good start to the day so far. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, send us a text, please, at 10400. Let's go now to Ainsley, who's hanging out and telling us all about the kidney walk that's happening. And she's at Kings Park, which is a beautiful place to start the day. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day. I know it doesn't seem like it, but the sun will go up. September 20th is the day of the kidney walk, and so many millions of Canadians living with kidney disease, waiting for a transplant, and many of us not knowing that it's late stage until it's too late. So when it comes to the walk, it's going to be friends and family who come by, people who are going through dialysis, and folks who just want to support the broader community. September 20th, get your tickets. It's a 2.2 kilometer loop here at Kings Park. There's different ways to support through a 50-50 as well. And there is accessibility through motorized scooters. So just such a good opportunity to rally around people. And like I said, hopefully it gets a little brighter out here.
Yeah, for sure. It's coming. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. And it is starting to brighten up at what time today?
Really around 6:30. So in about 20 minutes or so, we're going to start to see the sun start to rise. And yes, joining it will be some very clear skies. Couple clouds here or there, but for the most part, it's looking lovely out here. 16 degrees. Winds are out of the northwest. Pretty light. They will be ramping up quite considerably. Barometric pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 92%. Not a lot to tell you about today, folks, because we've got clear skies ahead, lots of sunshine, as mentioned, and above seasonal temperatures. The only outlier to that, because that really applies to all of the province, is the northeast. You have a low chance of rain, about 30% chance. Likely, though, more likely a mix of sun and cloud for you. The rest of the province, meanwhile, clearer skies, maybe an errant cloud or two, but for the most part, it's just going to be lovely. And temperatures rising above seasonal just by a degree or two. For us here in Winnipeg, we're looking at 24 degrees. I mentioned those winds very strong today out of the northwest, in the south at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. They are easing overnight as temperatures dip to the low teens, couple clouds lingering, and then into tomorrow, so much more sunshine and even hotter temperatures. So I'll say it once, I'll say it again, summer is not over. Alrighty, I'm going to head inside. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg on the other side. Do not go anywhere.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning. Winnipeg police have arrested 3 people in connection with a series of robberies police allege are linked to online dating sites. Winnipeg police say it happened at homes in the 400 block of Eugenie Street and the 500 block of Polson Avenue between February and August of this year. Police say the victims went there to see a woman they met online, but were robbed at knife point. Police are alleging the suspects then took the victims' vehicles, made fraudulent purchases, and withdrew cash from ATMs before returning the vehicles. A 44-year-old woman and 51-year-old man are facing numerous charges, including kidnapping and multiple counts of robbery, uttering threats, and forcible confinement. A 61-year-old man is facing the same charges, as well as uttering threats and disguise with intent. None of the charges has been proven in court.
It's a little bit convoluted in the sense that the person didn't really hide their identity, the female that was arrested as the main perpetrator here. And the addresses are linked to the suspects, and the suspects do know one another. So and as far as organization, there is some type of organization, but again, we don't always catch the right ones.
Police are continuing to investigate. They believe there may be more victims and are encouraging them to come forward. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation is calling on Manitoba's Premier to ease the pain at the pump.
When you head to the pumps in Manitoba, you pay 3 different gas taxes.
The Federation's 28th annual gas tax honesty report says Manitobans are paying 27 cents per litre in taxes alone when they fill up. This includes GST, a carbon tax, and the provincial gas tax.
You head to the pump, you're paying about $21 to fill up a minivan in just tax, about $27 in just tax to fill up a pickup truck.
And that could jump even higher next month if the Prime Minister ends the federal fuel tax cut, which went into effect in April. The Taxpayers Federation is calling on Premier Wabkanu to call for an extension of that cut, as well as suspending the provincial gas tax to help ease rising gas prices. Donald Trump is not happy with Canada. He's been musing about renaming Lake Ontario to Lake America and repeating his mantra that Canada is ripping off Americans. Abigail Beeman has the American response.
Among a morning barrage of anti-Canadian posts, we were labeled the most difficult and unreasonable. President Trump says the U.S. is seriously considering renaming Lake Ontario to Lake America because we don't expect to be doing much business with Ontario any longer. Followed by this map and another in Lego from the White House.
We'll always call it Lake Ontario. Great Lakes. Period.
Canada's industry minister firm on that, and firm in response to Trump's message that he loves French Canadians.
The question is not about love. The question is about sovereignty.
The president said he would never interfere with Canadians speaking French, a lie made up by a weak and ineffective prime minister for political support.
While all these shenanigans are happening, we'll just be smart and we'll be strategic and we'll fight back.
But a shift in tone Tuesday from Ontario's premier.
Doug, you are a lot more mellow right now. I mean, yesterday you were telling the president to kiss your tush.
Doug Ford took to American airwaves once again, mellow and encouraging.
We got a little heated back and forth over the last day, but I really want to just get a deal signed. It's time to get back to the table and let's negotiate a fair deal. I'd rather make a great deal.
I think it's going to have a significant impact.
While this trade expert, who was once assistant chief negotiator in the United States Trade Representative's office, says Canada's counter tariffs will hit Americans, especially in states critical to Trump in the upcoming midterms.
Carpets are being made a lot in Georgia, in the state of Georgia. Georgia is a very big state that the Republicans are trying to win back that Senate seat. There's some on Tennessee, another critical state. There's some on products being made in Texas. So I think that there was some strategic thought put into not only what the products are, but where their production is located.
While there hasn't been much public presidential pushback from Republicans, sources tell us behind the scenes it's a slightly different story, especially in those states worried about midterms, with lawmakers listening more closely to constituents hurt by tariffs. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
It just became easier for folks living in and around the Pas to get an MRI. The province says the mobile MRI unit began serving patients at St. Anthony's General Hospital Monday. It came from Thompson, where it's been used for more than 3,000 scans since arriving in June. The province says going forward, the device will rotate between the two communities. We want to show you a special reunion that took place Monday night in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley. A Nova Scotia family paid a visit to fire and rescue professionals to thank them properly for rescuing their golden retriever from a cliff at a provincial park earlier this month. 4-year-old Reese was off leash on a trail when he went over the edge and fell some 21 meters before landing in some bushes. The Kings County rescue team launched a complicated operation to safely retrieve the retriever. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. On Dunkirk Drive, the southbound curb lane will be closed between Fermor and Fernwood Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Pembina will be closed from Dowker to Oakenwald Avenue. And following the rush on Chalmers Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Raleigh to Watt Street.
Starting to be a clear start to our day. Our sunrise is about 15 minutes off, but wow, what a pretty sky as we take a look through the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. We're going to be dealing with pretty clear sunny skies throughout much of the province today and some warm temperatures, doing even a little bit better than yesterday. Let me move out of the way. You're already off to a warm start in Pinawa at 18 degrees. Over in the Wheat City, a little bit cooler at 11. Dauphin kicking off the day at 12 degrees. Over to northwestern Ontario, where 17 degrees is the current temperature in Kenora. Northern Manitoba mostly starting off in the low teens with a few exceptions. Island Lake a little bit warmer at 15 degrees. The Pas at 14. Thompson kicking off the day at 11. Not a lot to show you on our radar because we're dealing with such clear sunny skies throughout the morning and through the day to come. There is not a glimmer to show you on our system, which is a good difference from yesterday when we had that low-lying chance of rain. We had it in the morning and it was kind of always running in the background. I don't believe we ever saw the rainfall materialize in in Winnipeg later on in the day as projected. Today, not the case. We don't have that chance at all. 16 degrees, clear sunny skies as we kick it off. Winds out of the north for the onset of the day. Then they shift slightly and ramp up in a big way by the afternoon. Out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Extra hairspray is needed. 23 degrees around that time. We are getting one better than that. 24 is our high today, when 23 is what's seasonal. Overnight tonight, temperatures dipping down to 11. The winds ease a little bit and our skies stay relatively clear, maybe 1 or 2 clouds. And then the weekend is looking pretty darn gorgeous. 24 clear sunny skies. Winds will be considerably lighter. And by Friday, a couple more clouds rolling in, but even hotter, 25 degrees. And you can see that mercury just heating up into the weekend. But by Sunday, we're likely to get some overnight showers and a bit of a cool down on Monday as we get that rainfall as well. Very dramatic shot captured by Vladimir in Lockport of this, is this a pelican maybe? I should know. Looks like they're mid-flight either way and very impressive. Thanks for sending that in, and keep those weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break. Don't go anywhere.
Sad news in the country music world and well beyond. There will never be another Dolly Parton. The country music legend has died at 80 after a battle with cancer. Parton leaves behind a career that stretched from songwriting and singing to movies, business, and philanthropy. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin looks back at her extraordinary life and enduring legacy.
With her bedazzled look, outsized personality, and hair, Dolly Parton often joked that her famous quote, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap," should be on her tombstone. Just because I'm blonde, don't think I'm dumb. But it's her humanity shining through her music that many now remember, in Nashville and in Toronto.
For young women in music, writing these songs, she's such an inspiration to look up to.
A sweet lady who sang beautiful music and had a heart of gold.
Parton had spoken about a struggle with kidney stones and just days ago shared an update with fans saying she was healing but still working, as she often said she loved to do.
I am a workhorse that looks like a show horse.
Now it is true we had no money. Parton rose from poverty, the fourth of 12 children, her mother making clothes from rags, to riches, attaining glittering country music stardom and crossing genres.
My coat of many colors that my mama made for me was made only from rags, but I wore it so proudly.
Inspiration to so many, including Shania Twain. With her soprano voice, she delivered 25 #1 country hits, many of them she had written herself. In the 1970s, her star rose. She delivered movies like 9 to 5, TV shows, and more hits. She was a country star inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in later years focused on her charity work, including the Imagination Library providing books to children. More than a year ago, she lost her husband, Carl Dean, describing their relationship as a great love story. Dolly Parton's nephew announced her death, as was her wish.
She wants to rest in a beautiful bed of plush cotton because after a life wearing heavy rhinestones, she finally deserves to be comfortable and have some rest.
Parton died peacefully in Nashville at the age of 80. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
We love you, Dolly. A sea lion that had a plastic packing band around its neck is now free thanks to rescuers from Vancouver. The California sea lion was first reported earlier this month. Staff with the Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Society then waited for a safe weather window. They managed to sedate and detangle the animal last week. The group says about 60% of sea lion entanglements involve these plastic packing bands. Here's a look outside right now at Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are starting off pretty smoothly this morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. talking about Dolly on the break there, Catherine, and how much we're going to miss her and how sad we are. We're both huge fans.
Irreplaceable talent. There's no one like Dolly. No, is there a more chronically loved person, a more universally loved celebrity than Dolly Parton? Nobody. Yeah, and she even we were talking about she even donated to Manitoba Harvest last year for their Bowls fundraiser. Yeah, she's just a huge heart, huge talent. Oh, yeah, unreplaceable. We'll be playing her music all morning, I'm sure, to honor the late great queen.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it. Meanwhile, our sky is shining bright like one of her rhinestones. It's looking clear and lovely, just like her beautiful voice. 16 degrees out there. A couple clouds here or there, but for the most part, just lovely. Winds out of the northwest, pretty calm at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure on the rise, humidity sitting at 92%. A bit of a benign day today, which is great news because, yeah, for the last couple of days, we've had those low pressure systems that really stacked up in through the southwest yesterday, bringing that low chance of rain and thunderstorms. But as you can see, not so much as a glimmer, maybe here or there in and around Barons River, but not a lot going on our radar, except when we pull into northwestern Ontario. You can see this area has the strongest chance of some rain today as that same system starts to pass through your skies. About a 40% chance of rain, likely pretty overcast. Very different story for us here in Winnipeg and through much of the province for that matter. 24 degrees is our high, 23 is seasonal, so we'll take that. Yes, hotter than we were expecting. Winds, meanwhile, will be a main factor out of the day. Very strong out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. They ease overnight just to 20 clicks. Temperatures dipping down to 14 degrees. Couple clouds lingering, but for the most part pretty clear. And then tomorrow, clearer still, just as warm with a high of 24 degrees. Lighter winds out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. From there, we're setting sail into a clear, beautiful, and yes, hot weekend to come. 25 degrees on Friday with a couple clouds here or there. Mostly cloudy skies as well on Saturday with even hotter highs of 27 degrees, and we clear out nicely on Sunday.
Thank you, Catherine. The province's plan to roll out free transit passes for students this school year appears to be hitting a few roadblocks. Turns out not all Winnipeg students will be able to ride transit for free on day one of the school year. CTV's Jeff Keel explains who's getting them first and how long parents may have to wait.
When students return to school next month, there is a promise of free transit in Winnipeg. That will save hundreds of dollars for George Lister, who has triplets.
This makes it absolutely perfect for families like me that don't need it full time, but still need it really badly when we do.
But the dad of the grade 7 students is in the dark about how the free program is working with only 2 weeks before the school bell rings.
The details have not exactly been well promoted, and honestly haven't been able to find much on the details.
The province set aside $10 million in this year's budget to offer free transit for students ages 11 and up in a number of cities, including Winnipeg. Last week, Premier Wab Kinew said the pilot project for grades 7 to 12 students will be done in phases.
Any learner that needs public transportation will get it.
Winnipeg School Division Superintendent Matt Henderson says schools in the city will be making paper bus passes available for grade 11 and 12 students first on September 9th. Followed by grade 9s and 10s on September 21st, and then grades 7 and 8 the following week. There are exceptions.
TechVoc, Argyle, Children of the Earth, and R.B. Russell, where learners come from all over the division. Though all of those students will be able to receive their bus passes on September 9th.
The staggered approach is being done to help schools and Winnipeg Transit manage the rollout of the program while assessing the demands this will place on the system during an already busy time of the year.
We don't have enough buses. It will handle it in non-peak periods, where I am very worried about peak periods.
The city has warned the provincial funding is not enough and could run out by March. And in June, Transit said it could cap the number of passes available at 30,000 based on 50% uptake.
I personally think it's a recipe for disaster. I hope I'm wrong.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg Transit says it doesn't expect the passes will run out. They'll be valid for a full year from this September to August 2027. 15 arrests in 10 different Manitoba communities. The seizure of over 10 kilograms of illicit drugs and 57 firearms. That's the results of a 19-month-long police investigation.
It started as a cocaine trafficking investigation.
But after evidence was gathered and the scope of the operation expanded, this is what police seized as part of Project Dolor. It was launched in December 2024 when Winkler police approached RCMP about multiple kilograms of cocaine being imported to an area business. A number of arrests were made over the past month and searches done at residential and commercial properties in 5 communities and municipalities. RCMP expect even more arrests will be made.
Obviously, with any investigation, there's a lot of data that we need to go through from search warrants, production orders, things of that sort. So that takes time. So we'll see what we find, and then we'll go from there.
67 charges have been laid so far, 29 against a 28-year-old Carmen man who was arrested during a traffic stop in February. The other suspects, 14 men and 1 woman, live in 10 different communities, including Morden, La Rivière, Thornhill, the RM of Stewartburn, and McCreary. Charges are also pending against 2 Winnipeg men. A decision to drop country of origin info from its produce labels is now being reversed by Loblaw. Earlier this month, shoppers started to notice and complain that the area on produce displays indicating where the food was grown had been left blank. Loblaw changed their labels at stores across the country, except for Ontario and Quebec, where there are provincial regulations mandating this type of labeling. But following a CBC News inquiry and after public concern, the grocer says it will reintroduce country of origin information in produce aisles and will be adding a T symbol on shelf labels for American products affected by U.S. tariffs. The head of Instagram will take the witness stand for a second day today at the social media addiction trial against Meta. Yesterday, Adam Mosseri denied hiding information from the public about the safety of the popular social media app. He was also questioned about his regular public speaking engagements and whether part of his job was to help humanize Instagram. California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey have all accused Meta of designing the platforms to hook young users, fueling anxiety and depression. The new school year is fast approaching, and experts say it's worth easing kids back into a routine to get a good night's sleep. Preschoolers should get up to 13 hours of sleep, while tweens need between 9 and 12 hours. Teenagers do best with 8 to 10 hours of shut-eye. To get back on track, experts recommend setting earlier bedtimes a week or 2 before the first day of school, or gradually going to bed 15 to 30 minutes earlier each night. It's a good idea. Here's a look at what's happening right now in Confusion Corner. Things are moving well over here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. Now let's take a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.63. The lowest price in the city is $1.46. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
And speaking of kidney, we're talking about the kidney walk. Kenny's taking a walk right now. It's a beautiful start to the day. We're going to find out about the importance of fundraising for the Kidney Foundation. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
The sun is rising here in Winnipeg and it's looking gorgeous. Clear skies to kick us off. A couple clouds here or there. Currently at 16 degrees. Winds are out of the northwest, light at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity at 92%. Not a lot to tell you about today. There's a few areas in and around Manitoba and Ontario that have a chance of rain. Most notably into northwestern Ontario, Kenora about a 30% shot, Dryden, Fort Francis stronger, could be a rainy day throughout. And then to the northeast, low chance, but a chance nonetheless of rain, more likely a mix of sun and cloud. The rest of us, though, totally different story. Lots of sunshine on the way and some very strong winds, as is the case in the Red River Valley. Winds will be out of the northwest at 30, gusting at their strongest to 50 clicks. A little bit lighter to the southwest, but still gusty. Temperatures warm, in some cases above seasonal. Winnipeg included in that boat. 24 degrees is our high when 23 is what's seasonal. We're going to take a stroll over to Kings Park, where Ainsley McPhail is learning about an awesome fundraiser for the Kidney Foundation of Manitoba.
Good morning. Yes, the Kidney Walk happening September 20th. You can register now. Ashley is joining me. Let's talk about the Kidney Walk. It's a really exciting, anticipated event with your organization.
It is. We look forward to it all year long. It is our largest fundraiser that we do at the branch, and it brings all our programs and services funding. So it really is a big significant event for us.
And where's a lot of that money interjected into?
So all of the funds raised at the Kidney Walk provide our programs and services to our Manitobans with kidney disease. So that's everything from Kidney Camp that actually starts today for kids with kidney disease. It provides our financial assistance. We provide to research at a national level. So everything there really has to do with kidney disease, it's funded through events like our Kidney Walk.
And day of, I wouldn't call it a competitive race or anything like that. You're really just bringing people together.
No, absolutely not. We're here today at Kings Park, the location of our Kidney Walk, and it really is a fun walk. So it's open to all abilities. We are so fortunate to have reliable mobility, providing us power scooters. So if you do have any conditions that may make the walk difficult, we have partners in place to make that a little bit easier for everyone. So you can walk the whole walk, you can go up the sidewalk and back. It really, really is just about participating and being part of the community.
The physical toll it takes on people, but also the mental toll. Perhaps they're waiting for a transplant, right? So these people are also brought to the walk and finding a commonality together.
Yes, it really is about bringing this community together. Often our Kidney Walk is the first impression people get of the Kidney Foundation. It's their first time coming to us. It's the first time meeting this community. Kidney disease can be extremely isolating, so this really is a great time to get to know your peers within the kidney community.
Something Manitobans love, a 50-50. Even if you're not there, you can still donate.
That's right. We do have our Kidney Walk 50-50 going right now. You can visit kidneywalk5050.ca to get your tickets and support that way as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And the sun is up. That's great. We've got more coming up with the Kidney Walk at Kings Park on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is flat. The Nasdaq had small losses. The S&P index is stagnant. The Canadian dollar fell, set to 72.11 cents US. Overseas, the Hang Seng added 141 points, and the Nikkei is 405 points higher. Good morning. It is 6:46. Winnipeg police are warning a convicted sex offender considered high risk to reoffend is expected to take up residence in the city. 35-year-old James Joseph O'Kane was released from an Alberta prison Monday. He served a 5-year sentence for an attack against a woman who he dragged into an alley, sexually assaulted, choked, and threatened to kill while holding a knife. Police say women are at risk of sexual violence. He's described as 6 feet tall, 266 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He also has a tattoo on his right arm which says life. Finding an affordable place to live is one of the biggest challenges to women escaping violence, which is why the province is supporting a new facility in Pembina Valley.
A new transitional housing complex with 25 units and 57 beds for women and children leaving gender-based violence.
$2.4 million will be used to create Clearwater Place at Winkler's Genesis House. It includes trauma-focused programming and counseling services, new gathering spaces, and a play area for the kids. Genesis House's executive director says Clearwater Place's transitional housing will give families a safe space to sleep, live, and heal.
To the staff of Genesis House, thank you. Every day you guys witness extraordinary resilience from the women and children we serve. Your compassion has shaped every part of this project. Your belief in me has made Clearwater Place possible.
Ground has already been broken on Clearwater Place. It's expected to welcome families in April of next year. In Winnipeg, area school divisions plan to develop an outdoor education and bus maintenance facility outside the perimeter. Could become a step closer to reality this week. A hearing is set for Friday about the 8.2-acre parcel of land at 3280 St. Mary's Road in St. Germain. It's owned by Louis Diel School Division, which is asking for the site to be rezoned. Documents on the city's website show the portion bordering St. Mary's will include an outdoor classroom, naturalized gardens, and a pond, along with a nearly 11,000 square foot educational facility. The back half will incorporate existing buildings into a maintenance shop and yard. The Public Service is recommending the rezoning be approved with some conditions. New housing options are now available for students of a northern Manitoba college. University College of the North has officially opened a new student residence at its Flin Flon campus. It features 30 rooms, including 22 student suites and 8 executive suites for instructors and visiting professionals. There's also a dining hall, commercial kitchen, and recreation space. UCN, the Manitoba government, Prairie Scan, and the Manitoba Mineral Development Fund provided $2 million toward construction. As the summer wraps up, kids are looking forward to the first day of school, and for some, their first bus ride.
I think it's going to be fun because it's a bus, and buses are usually fun on field trips.
Edmonton's First Riders program teaches first-time riders about bus safety. Kids were able to meet with drivers and practice getting on and off the bus. They even got a chance to go for a ride. The First Riders program has been around since 2005. There's some high-profile restaurant closures downtown in recent weeks, but now it looks like an iconic venue may actually be reopening. A notice posted to the front of Fort Garry Place says a liquor license application has been filed for the 30th floor. If you recall, that used to be home to Prairie 360, otherwise known as the Revolving Restaurant. It shut down in 2020 amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The application is for an establishment called Dos Pampas Skyline Restaurant. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Dunkirk Drive. The southbound curb lane will be closed between Fermor and Fernwood Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Pembina will be closed from Dowker to Oakenwald Avenue. And following the rush on Chalmers Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Raleigh to Watt Street.
When we were little, my little sister said she wanted to become rich when she grew up and buy the Revolving Restaurant and make it her apartment. So I have to break it to her that she's not the next tenant, because maybe that was in her plans. Already 16 degrees out there. I digress. Pretty clear to kick us off. Winds light out of the northwest. Pressure rising. Humidity sitting at 92%. Yes, we're in store for a lovely day ahead. Lots of sunshine, to the point that I have very little to talk about on our radar. Yesterday we had those flare-ups from the low pressure system, the rainfall, and to the point that as I push in, you can see maybe a little bit more cloud coverage, but to the most part, very little to write home about. The one caveat is the northeast. You have a low chance, but a chance nonetheless of some rainfall. 30% chance by Environment and Climate Change Canada's forecast. Temperatures a little bit cooler than you saw yesterday, but still decent. 21 degrees in Thompson, 19 in Island Lake, 17 in Gillam, just 12 degrees in Churchill. To the northwest, lots more sunshine on the way for you and some warmer temperatures peaking in the low 20s, with the exception of Lynn Lake, a bit cooler at 18. Southwestern Manitoba, clear sunny skies, so much warmth on the way for you as well. Probably the hot spot of the province will be Brandon and Neepawa with highs of 25 degrees. A couple degrees cooler in Dauphin and Swan River, but still pretty nice. For us here in the Red River Valley, one of the main factors today will also be those strong winds. They'll be out of the northwest, gusting at their strongest from 30 to 50 kilometers per hour, so quite blustery indeed, but lots of sunshine to go along with it. And then to the northwest, a low chance of rain, stronger chance in Red Lake and Dryden, but mostly it'll just be cloudy for you. Temperatures at seasonal in the low 20s. For us overnight, temperatures dipping down to 11 degrees. Those northwesterly winds will ease to about 20 clicks. 11 degrees as mentioned, and maybe 1 or 2 clouds. Then into tomorrow, we clear out nicely, 24 degrees, which is above seasonal. And by the weekend, while we do get a little bit more in the way of cloud coverage, hot highs, 25 degrees on Friday, 27 on Saturday and Sunday. But by the start of next work week, it looks like we'll get some overnight showers into Monday, lingering throughout the day and evening, but tapering off nicely on Tuesday as temperatures rebound to 25 degrees.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's check in now on the team at Bouncer Radio 99.9. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Getting back to that Revolving Restaurant for 1 second. Yes. When I was younger, I thought the entire structure revolved. I really did.
Yeah,
that was like 10 years ago.
It was super cool. As a child, you can't really figure it out.
I love that. Hey, listen, we're all sad today. We lost a real icon yesterday, yes. a beautiful person in Dolly Parton. Yes. You know, a great entertainer, obviously humanitarian, businesswoman. I loved her. When I started in radio back in the early 70s up in Thompson, I got to do the all-night country show for a few weeks, and I knew nothing about country music, but we played a lot of Dolly Parton because the people kept asking for Coat of Many Colors and Jolene, and I learned quickly enough how good she was. And, of course, then in the 80s with the movies and everything else, she just exploded. Were you a big Dolly Parton fan, Rochelle?
Yes, I am, and I'm really sad about this loss. In fact, when I grew up, my parents were huge fans of her and Kenny Rogers. They did a lot of collaborations together, obviously, and so their Christmas LP, their record, would always come out in November, and it was called Once Upon a Christmas. I grew up to that album, so it makes me think of all the Christmases of my whole life, because even today I play that album for my kids, so they've grown up with Kenny Rogers and Dolly as well. And just recently, about 2 years ago, I listened to a podcast about Dolly. It's called Dolly Parton's America, and it really made me realize that not only was she super talented, she was an incredible humanitarian. She did a lot of great things for people who even betrayed her at some points. And so just a lovely, lovely person, and she's definitely going to be missed on this planet. An angel in life, in real life, for sure.
She was an amazing woman. I think carried so many people through so many tough times.
Yes.
I Will Always Love You. Family vacation to Hawaii was having a tough time. I'd get those like waffles from the waffle bar, pull the plate into bed, and listen to I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton on repeat, like sobbing into my waffles. But she's just so wonderful. I think her music resonates with everybody for a reason, right? So a true queen. I was telling Bo, the adage associated with her is the bigger the hair, the closer to God. So rock that big hair today, Rochelle.
Absolutely. And the boots. She loved her boots.
Dolly.
Yes. We miss you and we love you. All right, thanks you guys. Well, hockey season is right around the corner, and people in our community are welcoming the next generation of stars into their homes. CTV's Daniel Homerson has more on the special bond between players and billet hosts.
Brett McCauley's hometown north of Elkhorn is just a couple hours down the Trans-Canada Highway from Winnipeg. But that commute is far too long for the 19-year-old Winnipeg Monarchs defenseman with a schedule full of games, practices, and workouts.
Your time away from home, you make hay while the sun's shining, so you may as well live out here and make it easier on yourself than stretch the days.
That's where Dion Travers comes in, McCauley's hybrid mentor / roommate.
I come from a family of 14 and I'm the youngest brother, and I've always wanted to, know how it felt to be an older brother.
Travers is a billet host for Monarch players like McCauley to stay during the hockey season. McCauley has his own room and helps out around the house when he's not at the rink.
Like the first 2 weeks, you feel like a little awkward, and then after that, it's kind of just like it's like a little older brother to me. Like we basically do everything together.
Billet programs have been a big part of junior hockey for decades, a world where players often live hundreds, if not thousands of kilometers from their families. For Travers, it's about helping young people navigate through the daily grind.
Just giving them a home away from home, because I know how hard it is to have to leave their home at a young age.
Riley Dudar, the Monarchs coach and GM, stayed with host families across the country during his playing career. He says each experience taught him a thing or two about life.
Learning from different people and adopting some of their values and the way that they do things, and applying those types of things to my life.
Dudar says the Monarchs are looking for more families this season, whether it's empty nesters, a full house, or a host like Travers.
I think number one, just good humans. They have good values. They want to have fun. They're able to get along with the players.
Daniel Homerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
You can learn more about becoming a billet host on the Winnipeg Monarchs website. All right, we're going to take a break now. We'll be right back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's Wednesday, August 26th. Today, trade tariffs, how Ottawa is fighting back with new counter tariffs, and billions in support for workers and businesses. Plus, dating robberies, how 3 people allegedly used online dating sites to lure victims into a series of Winnipeg robberies. And Canu's tour from TikTok to the legislature. An Ukrainian newcomer gets a private tour and a special invite from the Premier. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It is Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, of course, we heard all about the counter tariffs that the Canadian government is proposing for September the 8th to kick off at that point. We're going to get some reaction from a trade expert at about 7:52 this morning. But the weather yesterday was lovely. We're going to have, now it's going to be beautiful for the rest of the week.
Yeah, a good distraction from all the turmoil. Absolutely. And yes, for those bemoaning, oh, summer's over. Wow, do we have a gorgeous week ahead. So get out and really savor what we have, because summer is not over and Mother Nature is going to be smiling down on us this week for sure. 16 degrees currently. There's a couple clouds out there, but they've largely started to clear. Winds out of the northwest, light. That'll change at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising. Humidity sitting at 92%. Not a lot to show you on our radar. A couple glimmers here or there in central portions of the province, but for the most part, we're starting off on a pretty clear note. Even as we pull out to our futurecast, we can see some potential threats here or there, but threat being an operative word, it won't be anything substantial is what I'm trying to say. You can see a couple glimmers here in the northeast. So this area does have a chance of rainfall throughout the day, fairly low. Likely it'll just be overcast. And then you start to see those glimmers over in northwestern Ontario. Likely some rainfall coming to in and around Red Lake, Dryden, Fort Frances, lesser chance in Kenora, but pretty cloudy. While us, we're nice and clear into the afternoon alongside some pretty strong northwesterly winds. That's kind of the major takeaway from our forecast here in the south. Strong at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Overnight, maybe one or two clouds. You can even see those skies clearing in the northeast. Winds will be easing for us here in Winnipeg as well. And then into tomorrow, we're all starting off on a pretty clear, lovely note. Temperatures will even be rebounding further into the weekend. Today, 24 degrees, which is just above seasonal. Same goes for us tomorrow as our skies clear out even more. Then by Friday, we're at 25 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. The weekend is looking hot, 27. And then by Sunday, clearer skies still with another hot high above seasonal. But overnight, we're likely to get some showers that linger well into Monday with a bit of a drop off in temperatures. Your weather art of the day, 8-year-old Allison did that. Wow, Allison is very talented. I love this picture of this beautiful rainbow with the sun and the trees. Thanks so much for sending that in. And if you would like to submit your child's weather art of the day, just visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, but it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle at Keniston and Regent.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Keniston.
Ottawa is balancing counter tariffs with billions of dollars worth of support in its response to the U.S. trade war.
We're also targeting products that will target states in the U.S. And so we're being wise and strategic to put political pressure.
There are more than 700 items targeted by retaliatory tariffs from Canada. Tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum are going up from 25% to 50%. Ottawa is also targeting U.S. products like seafood, cheese curds, smartphones, and video games. The counter tariffs will come into effect on September the 8th. Ottawa also announced $7.5 billion in support to help people and businesses weather the storm.
I would say with the measures we're putting forward, this is really about supporting Canada, supporting worker communities and businesses.
Ottawa's support package includes measures like expanding EI changes as well as expanding loan and grant programs. There will also be money available to fund shovel-ready projects. Business owners say higher costs and an uncertain climate will be felt by consumers. And as Heather Wright reports, Canadians are being encouraged to buy Canadian.
Products soon to be hit with a 50% reciprocal tariff are many that are sold here at Brentview Electronics.
It is going to be, without using a bad term, a horror show for us going forward while everybody is up in the air on what's happening today, tomorrow, next week.
The family business sells TVs and speakers and does wiring and installations.
Sonos is our bread and butter. It is the app.
Steve DeWeerd says with costs up in general, another spike will likely keep many would-be customers on the sidelines.
If there is a 50% cost on wire that we put in new construction houses or renovations, it's going to bring the whole budget up and might put the average consumer on a holding pattern.
More than 800 different products were included in a list released by Ottawa, from fish to appliances to carpets. U.S.-made cosmetics will also be tariffed, including nail polish. Stella Pham just opened this nail salon in Toronto and hopes she won't have to raise prices for her customers.
We will make the best way to make this client feel happy about it, and we feel happy about it too.
Also on the list, vital materials for infrastructure, including fiber optic cables, network cables, and building materials.
Whether people are building homes or developers are building homes, or whether they're looking to build data centers or universities, I think those things are going to be changing the way that we look at expenses in a big way.
Many businesses say they are trying to prepare as much as possible, but in this environment full of uncertainty, it is hard to predict how this situation might unfold. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Manitoba Premier Rob Canoe is weighing in on Canada's trade retaliation. Canoe says provincial government contracts will give preference to firms not from the U.S. and is looking at how these tariffs and Canada's counter tariffs will affect Manitoba businesses. This, as Canoe confirms, the province is drafting a tariff response of its own, saying he'll have more to share in the coming days.
I think it's important to have that balance, and you'll probably see us moving in a similar way as the province of Manitoba, because, yeah, absolutely, we have to keep the corporate sector moving along. But if there are the impacts on the actual workers and the people on the front lines, we have to make sure that we don't leave those folks behind either.
Canada's counter tariffs come into effect on September the 8th. It just became easier for folks living in and around the Paw to get an MRI. The province says the mobile MRI unit began serving patients at St. Anthony's General Hospital Monday. It came from Thompson, where it's been used for more than 3,000 scans since arriving in June. The province says going forward, the device will rotate between the two communities. It's not every day you get a private tour of the Manitoba Legislative Building from the Premier himself, but that's exactly who showed a Winnipeg newcomer around. Andrian Maknacho is a Ukrainian refugee documenting his Canadian firsts. The TikTok star wanted to meet Rob Canoe on Ukraine's Independence Day. Not only did the Premier accept, Canoe also gave him a private tour of the government building. Canoe even invited Maknacho to sign his name in the attic, saying the Ukrainian is now part of Manitoba's history.
He took me on the roof. We was like walking around. He showed me the areas around, because it's still something I'm exploring where I want to live in the future. He was like, there's Osborne Village, there's this building, you should check it out.
Maknacho was also given a gift at the legislature, but wouldn't say what it was. This fall's Winnipeg Comic-Con has announced 4 more celebrity guests to join their roster of stars. They include Mark Sheppard, known for his role of Hal Crowley in Supernatural. Character actor Julian Richings, best known for his work in Robert Eggers' The Witch. Canadian actress Jodelle Ferland, who portrayed Alessa and Sharon in the 2006 film Silent Hill. And none other than the T-1000 himself, Robert Patrick, recently seen in the popular series Peacemaker. This year's Winnipeg Comic-Con runs October 30th to November the 1st at RBC Convention Center. All right, here's a look at what's happening right now on St. Mary's Road. You can see traffic volumes are slowly picking up in this part of the city, but we have no issues to report at this point in the drive.
National Bank reporting profit that beat analyst estimates in all 3 of its main business lines. The company, Canada's 6th largest lender, has benefited from stronger loan growth in Quebec, as well as its acquisition of Canadian Western Bank, which was completed in February of last year and helped lift revenue. Alimentation Couche-Tard has announced an $8.7 billion takeover bid for Poland's biggest convenience store chain, the Zabka Group, officially launching the retail industry's 2nd biggest acquisition this year. Couche-Tard's CEO Alex Miller said last month that he expected pressure from Zabka shareholders to raise the bid, but remained confident about getting the deal done. Honda Executive VP Noriya Kaidahara says the Japanese automaker might not build an 8th assembly plant in North America unless the CUSMA trade deal is extended. Last year, Hyundai told the administration that uncertainty over CUSMA was delaying its investment decisions. And those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Thank you, Roger. Let's now go to Ainsley, who's hanging out at Kings Park this morning. It's a beautiful day, and there's an upcoming fundraiser that's also very important. Good morning, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. Happy Hump Day. 120K is the goal for the Kidney Walk coming up September 20th at Kings Park, of course, for the Kidney Foundation, helping so many Manitobans. This fundraiser's raised millions of dollars and is really the introduction to a lot of people to the foundation, which does tons of advocacy as well. You might not know you have kidney disease until, unfortunately, is in the later stages. So I was kind of looking up, okay, what are some foods I can tell people to eat? I know that on their website they've got recipes and things like that. The obvious: whole grains, legumes, olive oil, a low sodium diet. So a good walk. And hey, look, when you sign up, you're getting that exercise and you're helping a really, really awesome cause.
Absolutely. And you're getting some fresh air while you're doing it. Thank you. Let's go out to the rooftop where Catherine is getting some fresh air this morning, and it feels good out there.
Great moment to take a stroll out there in Winnipeg, and the whole day really for that matter, because yes, we're going to deal with lots of sunshine and very warm temperatures. But if you don't want to sweat, yeah, get outside in these earlier morning hours because it's 15 degrees, still warm but not oppressive. Clear skies, winds out of the northwest, pressure rising, humidity at 95%. So I'd say most of the province will be dealing with a lot of sunshine today. One or two clouds here or there, but for the most part clear. Temperatures in the south peaking a few degrees for the most part above seasonal. So about 23 is what's typical. Winnipeg's getting up to 24, maybe a bit warmer even in and around the Brandon and Neepawa region. With it, some very strong northwesterly winds at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Highs in the northwest, in and around the Paw, Flin Flon, also peaking in the low 20s. Lots of sunshine on tap for you. Meanwhile, the northeast, bit cloudier, plus a low chance of some rainfall for you. Very low, likely you're staying dry. Overnight, skies start to clear out even more in Winnipeg. Temperatures dip down to 11. Those winds ease, excuse me. And then into tomorrow, lots more sunshine and even a hotter day ahead. And that is setting the stage for a very hot weekend as well. So for those who are complaining that summer is over, let me tell you, the weekend is looking lovely with above seasonal temperatures before some likely rain overnight Sunday. Next week does kick off with that rainfall, but temperatures rebound the next day and the sunshine reemerges.
Thank you, Catherine. Well, it's time for our question of the day. The world lost icon Dolly Parton yesterday, and we want to know what's something you loved about Dolly Parton. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want to see more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. Okay, we're going to take a break now. We'll be back right after this with some entertainment news. Good morning. Winnipeg police have arrested 3 people in connection with a series of robberies police alleged are linked to online dating sites. Winnipeg police say it happened at homes in the 400 block of Eugenie Street and the 500 block of Polson Avenue between February and August of this year. Police say the victims went there to see a woman they met online but were robbed at knife point. Police are alleging the suspects then took the victims' vehicles, made fraudulent purchases, and withdrew cash from ATMs before returning the vehicles. A 44-year-old woman and 51-year-old man are facing numerous charges, including kidnapping and multiple counts of robbery, uttering threats, and forcible confinement. A 61-year-old man is facing the same charges, as well as uttering threats and disguise with intent. None of the charges has been proven in court.
It's a little bit convoluted in the sense that the person didn't really hide their identity, the female that was arrested as the main perpetrator here. And the addresses are linked to the suspects, and the suspects do know one another. So and as far as organization, there is some type of organization, but again, we don't always catch the right ones.
Police are continuing to investigate. They believe there may be more victims and are encouraging them to come forward. The Canadian Taxpayers Federation is calling on Manitoba's Premier to ease the pain at the pump.
Every time you head to the pumps in Manitoba, you pay 3 different gas taxes.
The Federation's 28th annual gas tax honesty report says Manitobans are paying 27 cents per litre in taxes alone when they fill up. This includes GST, a carbon tax, and the provincial gas tax.
At the pump, you're paying about $21 to fill up a minivan in just tax, about $27 in just tax to fill up a pickup truck.
And that could jump even higher next month if the Prime Minister ends the federal fuel tax cut, which went into effect in April. The Taxpayers Federation is calling on Premier Wabkinew to call for an extension of that cut, as well as suspending the provincial gas tax to help ease rising gas prices. There's a new way to deal with plastic waste. Researchers in Illinois have made a cookie made using old plastic bottles. The secret ingredient is a type of engineered yeast which can turn plastic compounds into snacks. The cookies are called microbites. They were developed as part of NASA's Deep Space Food Challenge. Yum. Here's a look at what's happening right now in traffic along the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are moving well to start off this morning. If you see any problems out there, though, please send us a text to let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
In entertainment, some of the most iconic props and costumes in modern movie history are going under the hammer. John Travolta's white disco suit from Saturday Night Fever is on the auction block. It's estimated to bring $200,000 to $400,000. Also up for bid, the stunt axe Jack Nicholson used in The Shining, Johnny Depp's title prop from Edward Scissorhands, Michael Keaton's bat suit, the mosquito in Amber Fossil from Jurassic Park, and Marty's hoverboard from Back to the Future. More than 1,700 lots are up for auction Wednesday through Saturday at propstoreauction.com. This box office record is something people in the film industry would wish for.
Have you ever actually flirted with Nikki? I'm gonna go get some shots. I'll come with you if she means this much to you. And I know she does.
Obsession has just surpassed the $500 million mark at the global box office. It's the first original film released this year to hit that milestone. Obsession is also the highest grossing film ever made for less than $1 million. This was also Curry Barker's first feature-length theatrical release. By now, you may have heard the rumor that Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson are actually brothers. While the jury is still out, the pair is definitely leaning into it.
Maybe it's not a total coincidence that you and Matthew are always scrapping like brothers.
Well, Meg, are you saying you and Matthew might be brothers?
Yes.
Buckle up.
The pair plays fictionalized versions of themselves in the upcoming comedy series Brothers. In the series, their lives are thrown into chaos after McConaughey's mother lets slip that, you guessed it, they might be siblings. The 8-part series debuts September 23rd on Apple TV. Well, here's your primetime lineup for today. MasterChef kicks off at 7. The Rainmaker is following at 8. The Borderline is on at 9. Then Jeopardy Masters wraps things up at 10 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're brothers for real?
I mean, spiritually, they're very much on the same plane. I never not see those two shirtless on a beach in Hawaii. They're very at home with a puka necklace.
Yes.
So. Maybe.
And they do a lot of stuff together.
They do. I mean, True Detective, iconic, right?
Gosh,
yeah.
so good.
So hopefully this will be just as good. Very different, obviously, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, so let's talk about, it's not going to feel like a Hawaiian beach out there, but it is still going to be mighty gorgeous for this time of year, especially as we take a look through the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. So much sunshine already being felt across the province. I did mean to mention that I know, Brandon, you've been having some mist this morning, while the rest of us dry and clear as mentioned. Temperatures also pretty warm for the most part in the mid to upper teens. Some cooler areas as mentioned, Brandon in that camp. Melita just at 11. Over in Kenora and northwestern Ontario 16 degrees. Much the same to the north, temperatures in and around 14 degrees in the Paw, 11 in Flin Flon, up in Churchill 11 degrees this hour. Nothing really to show you on our radar because it is a pretty clear start to the morning and it's going to be a pretty clear day ahead. So very little to talk about here. Yesterday we had that low pressure system lighting it up like a Christmas tree. Today it's going to be very calm, banal, if you will. 16 degrees as we kick off the day with some lighter northerly winds. Not banal, I should say, are those winds. That's kind of the main weather point I want to stress. They will be pretty strong out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Temperatures heating up, staying pretty steady at around 23 degrees. We're likely to do one better than that for our high, 24. Overnight, though, we lose a good amount of heat. 11 degrees, a cooler overnight low. Those winds do ease. out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. Skies remain pretty clear. And tomorrow, much the same. Clear and sunny, a high of 24 degrees, getting even hotter into the weekend. Vladimir titled this one, Turbulence on Landing. Yes, this Pelican really coming in for a quick one over in Lockport. Thanks so much for sending that in, Vladimir. And if you've got any weather photos to share, avian or otherwise, we would love to see them. Email us at winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
August 26, 1961. Prime Minister John Diefenbaker opened Canada's Hockey Hall of Fame at the Canadian National Exhibition Grounds in Toronto. More than 750,000 people visited the hall in its first year of operation. The hall moved into a restored bank building in downtown Toronto in 1993. August 26, 2009. Authorities in California solved the 18-year-old disappearance of J.C. Lee Dugard, who appeared at a parole office with her children and the couple accused of kidnapping her when she was 11. In April 2011, Philip and Nancy Garrido pleaded guilty to kidnapping and rape. Both were sentenced to lengthy prison terms. August 26, 2023. Bob Barker, the longtime host of the popular TV game show The Price is Right, died at age 99. Barker originally rose to fame as host of Truth or Consequences from 1956 to 1975. Over his career, Barker won 19 Emmy Awards. He hosted The Price is Right for 35 years and became known for his dedication as an advocate for animal welfare. Some sad news from the music world. Country music legend Dolly Parton has died.
He opened doors not just for me, but for her entire family to reach the potential we didn't even know was possible. Dolly also opened doors for generations of singers, songwriters, musicians, and dreamers from every walk of life and across every continent. By her example, we believe that anything was possible.
Parton's nephew made the announcement in an online video. Just days ago, Parton shared an update on her health, telling People magazine she'd been dealing with health issues since the death of her husband in March of last year.
Bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
Parton is the best-selling female country music artist of all time. She's written over 3,000 songs, including 9 to 5, Jolene, and the mega hit I Will Always Love You. Born in Tennessee in 1946, Parton began playing guitar at the age of 6 and singing in church. She started writing songs a year later. She had several #1 hits, and by 1980, she starred in her first movie, which was 9 to 5. Dolly Parton was 80. And Dolly Parton's charity work even extended into our province. Last year, she donated a one-of-a-kind celebrity bowl for a Harvest Manitoba fundraiser. Parton fired, glazed, and decorated it herself using costume pieces from her past performances. She will certainly be missed. Coming up, we are live at Kings Park talking about the Kidney Walk. Stay with us for more. Let's go back now to the Kings Park, where our Ainsley is live this morning. We're talking about the Kidney Foundation, the important work they do in this community, and how a fundraiser helps them to do just that. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Yes, the Kidney Walk. More than 4 million Canadians dealing with kidney disease, and the partners here in Manitoba are doing their part. There's some really fun programming, especially for kids, kicking off today.
Yeah, so we have our kidney camp kicking off today. So a bunch of Manitoba kids are getting to enjoy camp completely funded through funds generated from things like our Kidney Walk.
And what are some things that kids look forward to doing?
So we have the camp out at Camp Manitou. So this week they're getting to do all the things you would normally do at a camp. So they're having a campfire, they're enjoying the outdoors, they're going swimming, they're all the normal things that you would see at a typical camp. Our kids with kidney disease are now getting to experience it too, while also getting to know other kids with kidney disease so they don't feel so alone.
No doubt. And then not having conversations about health issues, right? Just being able to escape to camp. There's many other programs and services, especially for adults who are kind of going back and forth from dialysis.
Yes, so we're not government funded. So all of our programs and services are provided through generous donors and corporate sponsors. So some of our favorite programs, our Kidney Community Kitchen is an excellent resource if you have any kind of kidney concerns. Also our short-term financial assistance, which provides grants to people living with kidney disease or who have received a kidney transplant and just need that extra little bit of support. Life is expensive, living with kidney disease is expensive. So our short-term financial assistance, which has skyrocketed this year in need, is so important for us to be able to provide to our community.
Thank you for mentioning the community kitchen, too, because I was bringing up the low-sodium diet earlier, and Kenny's like, what's a legume? I said, now you know, and maybe you should be eating them. Anything else you guys are doing? This is a marquee event, too. How important is that funding?
It's so important. It provides all of our programs and services. Like I said, our short-term financial assistance, which has skyrocketed, directly benefits from the Kidney Walk being successful. So please come out, please register, donate if you can. It really does truly make a difference for this community.
And if you're not free on September 20th for whatever reason, there's a 50-50.
All right. Well, thank you. And people love their 50-50 in this community. Thank you, Ainsley. And looking outside, right behind her, it looked amazing out there.
I feel like we went right past cameraman Kenny calling legumes legume.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Kenny makes me laugh all the time. Still after working together this long. Ainsley and him just must laugh nonstop.
Exactly.
You know what? Getting outside there at beautiful Kings Park, it's just a beautiful morning to be enjoying the outdoors because it's just 15 degrees out there, so still pretty warm but not terribly hot, sunny and clear. Winds are still light out of the northwest. That'll be shifting a little bit into the day. Barometric pressure rising, humidity sitting at 95%. Not a lot to show you on our radar because most of us are starting off on a pretty clear note. Brandon did have a little bit of mist this morning, but for the most part, it's going to be clear and sunny, and for us, slightly above seasonal. 24 degrees is what we're expecting. 23 is a typical seasonal high. Meanwhile, I mentioned those winds ramping up. They'll be strong out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Those strongest gusts likely in the early afternoon, and yes, those mainly sunny skies. Overnight, we lose a good amount of heat. 11 degrees, bit of a cooler overnight low, and those winds do lose some of that gusto out of the north at 20 kilometers per hour. A couple clouds here or there, but they will be short-lived because tomorrow it's looking even clearer than today. 24 degrees, maybe some fog patches. There's a caveat in the morning. Likely they'll break up into the morning. And those winds shifting and easing out of the west at 15 kilometers per hour. The weekend is looking absolutely lovely and very hot. 25 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Maybe a little bit cloudier on Saturday as temperatures really start to heat up to 27. And on Sunday, we're heating up even more and getting clear. No, saying the same heat, excuse me, getting clearer. That's what I'm trying to say. 27 degrees. But things take a bit of a turn. Overnight showers likely to roll in, and then onto Monday, we kick off the week under a good chance of showers. A bit cooler temperatures, although seasonal still, 23 degrees. But as that rainfall lasts overnight, it does tend to look to be clearing off into Tuesday as temperatures rebound nicely to 25 degrees.
15 arrests in 10 different Manitoba communities, the seizure of over 10 kilograms of illicit drugs and 57 firearms. That's the result of a 19-month-long police investigation.
It started as a cocaine trafficking investigation.
But after evidence was gathered and the scope of the operation expanded, this is what police seized as part of Project Dolor. It was launched in December 2024 when Winkler police approached RCMP about multiple kilograms of cocaine being imported to an area business. A number of arrests were made over the past month and searches done at residential and commercial properties in 5 communities and municipalities. RCMP expect even more arrests will be made.
Obviously, with any investigation, there's a lot of data that we need to go through from search warrants, production orders, things of that sort. So that takes time. So we'll see what we find, and then we'll go from there.
67 charges have been laid so far, 29 against a 28-year-old Carmen man who was arrested during a traffic stop in February. The other suspects, 14 men and 1 woman, live in 10 different communities, including Morden, La Rivière, Thornhill, the RM of Stewart Burn, and McCreary. Charges are also pending against 2 Winnipeg men. 2 former political rivals are teaming up in Alberta. Former premiers Jason Kenney and Rachel Notley will co-chair a campaign that will make the case to keep Alberta as part of Canada. The campaign is being organized by the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. The 2 former premiers didn't agree on much when they were running for office, but they do agree that Alberta leaving the country is bad for business. Alberta will hold a non-binding referendum on separation on October 19th. During his back and forth with Ontario Premier Doug Ford, U.S. President Donald Trump suggested renaming Lake Ontario to Lake America, and it got a lot of people talking.
Reminded of the words of my grandmother that said, you can't expect more from a pig than a grunt. This is what he does. This is who he is. We should give it all the attention we feel it deserves, which is none.
Once again, he hasn't given this any thought whatsoever, and that's the way he speaks. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Many are viewing President Trump's threat as an empty one and are comparing it to when the U.S. president threatened to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. The threatened name change has now been labeled on a map circulating online. U.S. Ambassador to Canada Pete Hoekstra reposted the image on X, which was originally posted by the U.S. Interior Secretary. It shows the Great Lakes with Lake Ontario labeled as Lake America. The worker struck by a plane at Montreal's Trudeau Airport has died.
Ever had any issues with his workmanship or his professionalism. It's just a tragic accident that we lost a very good member.
The union that represents thousands of airport workers has now identified that worker as Oscar Robeo. Police say the 39-year-old was struck by an aircraft backing up on the tarmac. The union is now working with Robeo's employer and the airport authority to determine exactly what happened. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is also sending a team to investigate. U.S. President Donald Trump says all mines have been cleared from the Strait of Hormuz. He shared the update on Truth Social. Trump said, quote, Iran has been notified that any ship or boat placing new mines will be immediately and systematically destroyed. Trump also added they're watching every square inch of the waterway through the U.S. Space Force. Meanwhile, Oman and Iran have been hammering out a plan for a temporary shipping route. More doctors are using online patient portals, and researchers have some tips to increase the chances your message is seen. A new study in the U.S. looked at more than 3 million patient portal threads. Researchers found patient portal messages directly addressed to the doctor were more likely to get a response. Also, messages with expressive punctuation, like using multiple exclamation marks, also got better response rates. Many providers would suggest clear, concise messages. But in the study, longer messages were more likely to get passed along to the clinician they were intended for. The study was published in the journal JAMA Network Open. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Dunkirk Drive. The southbound curb lane will be closed between Fermor and Fernwood Avenue. The northbound curb lane on Pembina will be closed from Dowker to Oakenwald Avenue. And following the rush on Chalmers Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Raleigh to Watt Street. Here's a look now at your gas prices in Winnipeg. The average is $1.63 and the lowest price in the city is $1.46. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Taking a look outside right now, it's sunny, 15 degrees. We're going to take a break. More Your Morning Winnipeg after this.
Sunny and gorgeous to kick off this Wednesday throughout Winnipeg. 15 degrees, light northwesterly winds. Pressure on the rise, the humidity sitting at 95%. Yeah, Mother Nature is really going to be spoiling us today and through the weekend to come. Not a lot to show us on our radar as a result because, yeah, so much sunshine on the way. As we push in, you can start to see one or two glimmers of clouds. Very little, though, to the most part. Brandon, I know you had a bit missed today, but for the most part, you're the outlier. Meanwhile, there is still a low chance, speaking of outliers, of some rainfall to the northeast. Likely, though, it's going to be dry and a bit cloudy for you. Temperature still decently warm in Thompson at 21 degrees, but the rest of the region took a bit of a dip from yesterday. 19 in Island Lake, 17 in Gillam, Churchill just getting up to 12 degrees. The northwest, different story, still pretty warm and very sunny. Lots of clear skies expected in Opaskwayak, Cree-Nation, the Pond, Flin Flon. More of a mix of sun and cloud in Lynn Lake and Norway House. Southwestern Manitoba, likely the hot spot of the province, with highs expected at 25 in Brandon and Neepo with plenty of sunshine. Dauphin and Swan River not doing too badly at 23. Much the same for us, but we also have some very strong northwesterly winds. They will be strong in Brandon and Neepawa in the southwest, but for us, just a bit stronger at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. We pair that with lots of sunshine and highs at or just above seasonal. Into northwestern Ontario, low chance of rain in Kenora, stronger chance in Dryden, Fort Frances and Red Lake. Temperatures there hovering in the mid-20s. For us here, we'll see a couple of clouds linger overnight. Those northwesterly winds will ease as temperatures dip down to 11 degrees. I mentioned Mother Nature being very generous with us. This is what I'm talking about. Thursday, lots of sunshine with a high of 24, getting even hotter onto Friday under that mix of sun and cloud. Saturday, 27 degrees. Sunday, we clear out with the same high, but showers expected to move in overnight. But their stay is short-lived, clearing off by Tuesday.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's live at Kings Park this morning. The Kidney Walk is in September, and it's for a very good cause. Good morning.
Well, it's not just a walk, right? It's for people who are going through dialysis, their friends and family. Kidney Foundation providing tangible support for them. Ashley, thanks again for being here. When it comes to the individual, what does that look like? Who's going to be walking?
So our participants are a wide variety, whether that's friends and family, whether that's a patient themselves. It really is a whole community coming together, putting their arm around each other, and really showing that we don't walk this alone. So the day itself, we have music, we have games, we have shirts, we have food provided by our partners at Manitoba Turkey. It really is a wonderful community event. Come, bring your family, friends. It's a lot of fun.
And a walk, how do I put this? Dialysis is a marathon, right? It's the day-to-day, it's the grind. What does it mean for them to be able to come together in commonality?
Yes, so when you're on dialysis, you're looking at 3 to 4 hours for a treatment, 3 to 4 times a week if you're going in hospital. So it really is a long commitment. We like to bring the walk, get to know each other, in that same kind of time frame. So the event itself is about 3 to 4 hours, the same amount of time that you would be sitting on a dialysis chair going through dialysis. So it's a juxtaposition of what you're looking at through dialysis.
See what I mean by a marathon? My goodness, I can't even imagine. When it comes to the day of, it is fun, but it's also an introduction for people too.
It is. So it's a lot of time. This is the first time people are getting to know the Kidney Foundation. So we really put ourselves out there, show you our programs and services we're offering, show you the resource that we have available to you, get to know us, get to know what we can do to support your journey with kidney disease as well. If you aren't able to walk, you can bike, you can rollerblade. We're in beautiful Kings Park, beautiful smooth paths here. If you can't walk or you can't actually attend, you can still register to participate and fundraise all the same.
Thank you so much. 120K, that's their goal. Let's surpass it.
Thank you, Ainsley. Maternal mental health was once a taboo topic, but it's now making headlines. A high-profile trial is underway in the U.S. right now of a mother whose attorneys say strangled her 3 young children while experiencing postpartum psychosis. Experts say the focus on what some new mothers go through is long overdue.
That's such a prevalent condition, and yet people don't talk about it, and they don't recognize the symptoms.
Wendy Davis is president and CEO of Postpartum Support International. She says symptoms can start before, during, and after pregnancy and may be different for each person. They can include feelings of anger, irritability and rage, lack of interest in the baby, disturbances of sleep and appetite, crying and sadness, feelings of guilt, shame or hopelessness, loss of interest, joy or pleasure in things you used to enjoy, and possible thoughts of harming the baby or yourself.
What happens is she thinks, I shouldn't have done this. I'm not cut out to be a mom.
Davis says the symptoms are temporary and treatable. She goes on to say resources are available to anyone and a diagnosis isn't needed to get help. A reminder, if you are in crisis, there is support available right now. It includes the WRHA Mobile Crisis Service if you're in Winnipeg and the Manitoba Farm Rural and Northern Support Service for rural Manitoba. Anywhere in the province, you can call the Clinic Crisis Line or the Manitoba Suicide Prevention and Support Line, and the National Suicide Crisis Helpline is 988. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy Betty Ann birthday, Doug. That's the year you turn the same age as the year you were born in, from family and friends. Happy 20th anniversary, Scott and Craig, from family and friends. Happy 3rd birthday, Kai, with love from Lolo and Lola. And a happy 3rd birthday, Tatum, love from all your family. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. For that, let's go to mixed doubles action at the U.S. Open, featuring Gael Monfils, who is teaming up with his wife, Alina Svitolina. And look at the defense from the 39-year-old. He's gone from the screen. Here comes the tennis ball. Gets back into position and rips the forehand winner down the baseline. Gael taking a bow for that. Tennis fans are going to miss this Monfils magic, as the Frenchman is retiring at the end of the year. He and Svitolina won in 3 sets to advance to Wednesday's semifinal. And that is your must-see moment. Well, tonight on TSN, the Tempo look to get back in the win column as they visit the league-worst Seattle Storm. Coverage begins at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. And that does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Another warm day ahead at 24 degrees, slightly above what's typical for this time of year. But we're missing the mark in terms of the highs we saw this time last year, and well off that record set back in 1984. Still going to be a really lovely day out here. I'm wearing a yellow golden shirt that turns out to be thematic because we're going to be dealing with so much sunshine today through the majority of the province, I'll say that. For us here in the south, we're going to deal with clear skies throughout the day, maybe 1 or 2 clouds here or there. The other main takeaway, though, is those strong northwesterly winds, the strongest being felt in the Red River Valley here in Winnipeg as well. 30 gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour at their height. Still strong in the southwest, but not quite as strong, about 20 to 40 clicks for you. Meanwhile, the northwest, highs in the low 20s, lots of sunshine, but the northeast, a bit of a caveat. You have a low chance of rainfall today and a good chance of some cloud coverage. Temperatures in that vein are also a little bit cooler, in the upper teens or low 20s, a bit of a dip from yesterday. For us here in Winnipeg overnight, skies remain pretty clear. Those winds do ease considerably, again out of the northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Temperatures dip to about 11. And then tomorrow we get even warmer, or no, apologies, Catherine's brain is scrambled. 24 degrees tomorrow, so bang on the same as what we're seeing today. We get plenty more sunshine, but into the weekend, that's when Mother Nature really turns up the heat.
Canada's retaliatory tariffs on more than 700 U.S. products are set to come into effect next month, marking the latest escalation in the trade war after the United States imposed new tariffs on Canada last week. Ottawa says on September 8th, American steel and aluminum tariffs will be doubled to 50%, and the government will also impose 50% tariffs on smartphones, golf clubs, video game consoles, fishing rods, and furniture, just to name a few. Joining us now with reaction to this move is U of M Assistant Professor in Political Science, Brian Peeler. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Michelle.
Thanks for joining us. Now, let's start off with your thoughts on yesterday's announcement with these counter tariffs.
Yeah, particularly here for us in Manitoba, our exposure is really with agri-food exports. It was something like $4 billion to the U.S. takes in about $4 billion of last year of Manitoba agri-food exports. So at the moment, Manitoba's sort of, we're okay. The problem for us here in Manitoba might come where, if things start to escalate again, Manitoba exports may be targeted. So the tariffs that were put in are probably going to hit mostly in southern Ontario right now, and the supports that the government has announced the other day are going to be helpful. But we've had this conversation. We have this conversation every couple of weeks, so who knows what could happen in the future.
Right. Well, can we talk about the goods being tariffed and how it appears the federal government is not only targeting red states, but also swing states? For example, there are hundreds of fish items which will be tariffed starting September 8th, which would directly impact Alaska, Maine, and Michigan, which are swing states. There's also carpet, 25% tariff, mainly manufactured in Georgia, which is also a swing state. There are so many examples of that. What do you think the strategy is here?
Yeah, the strategy obviously is that they're trying to, target these two states where, Republicans get elected. There are Trump supporters, and they're trying to say, look, we're going to punish you and not other people with these tariffs. It's not a bad strategy. The problem is, do the voters in these states actually care about this? It's not obvious. They may care about other things more than Canadian trade and are willing to absorb these sorts of, essentially these tariffs or taxes on American consumers. Are they willing to absorb these themselves for, other things that they support President Trump in doing? So I think, the strategy for Canada makes sense. Targeting these particular items in these particular states, not obvious it'll work.
But the booze did appear to get their attention, right? So obviously they're taking that into account as well in this whole deal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably why, we've just seen polling over the weekend from the Angus Reid Institute where, the vast majority of Canadians across the country are in support of what the Carney government is doing in response to the U.S. And both of these, both leaders, both President Trump and Prime Minister Carney have invested a great amount of, their personal integrity into these deals. So, I guess the September 8th deadline is there to allow the U.S. to walk back what they've done, right? In the past, they suspended these tariffs for, X amount of days to try and renegotiate a different deal. So I'm assuming that's why these the Canadian counter tariffs aren't taking place until September 8th. But it's going to be hard for both countries to walk this back. This is going to be very tricky going forward.
And let's talk about the rhetoric. It feels like it's been heating up as well. Ontario Premier Doug Ford, U.S. President Donald Trump were name calling, and then Trump saying he's going to rename Lake Ontario to Lake America. Do you think there should be more restraint here, or are we beyond that? Yeah, there probably should be. I mean, like Carney, I said, we got attacked. We're at war, and that's striking language from a famously measured central banker. That sort of rhetoric is aimed at domestic audiences. It signals resolve, after months of, particularly for Prime Minister Carney, who I remember a couple of months ago, right, when the negotiations were going on, he was attacked by the opposition here in Canada, and many people were writing that Canada was giving up too much in the negotiations. Think of the digital services tax in the past, China, trade relations with China. So again, this is both. Again, like I said, both leaders have staked their personal reputations on this, and the risk is it makes climbing down harder for each side, and it makes negotiations harder. All right. Well, Brian, thanks for your perspective today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Here's a look outside now at Taché Avenue. It looks like things are moving well this Wednesday morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, though, you need to send us a text to let us know. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. It's Wednesday, August 26th. Tariff strategy. Manitoba's premier outlines the province's approach to fending off U.S. tariffs and promises more details to come. Subsidized school transit passes. Why not every eligible student will receive one on the first day of classes, and how long it may take to complete the rollout. And as the trade war heats up and consumers are again scrutinizing country of origin, a major retailer backtracks on its labeling decision. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, we're going to get more reaction to yesterday's federal announcement on counter tariffs that are coming into play as of September the 8th. And then at 8:45, back to school is just a couple of weeks away, which is so crazy. We're going to have some reminders on how to get the kids back on track so they're ready to hit the books come about September, 11th?
It's a later start, so they've got a couple of weeks to get on track.
And it's looking like it's still summer outside, though.
Yeah, so I can sympathize. If you're not really wanting to think about back to school, it's because Mother Nature is making it feel so beautiful, so much like summer out there today. 15 degrees, pretty clear to kick us off on this Wednesday. Winds are light this hour. That'll shift soon enough. Currently out of the northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure rising, humidity sitting at 95%. It's going to be a bit of a blustery day today, but pretty sunny through most of the province. As such, I have very little to show you on our radar. Our futurecast does show a little bit more cloud coverage in those very northerly points. Plus, a couple speckles here, some disturbances amounting to about a 30% chance of rain into the northeast, in and around Thompson, Churchill even. Island Lake could be seeing a little bit of rainfall, but likely you're staying dry and pretty cloudy, but you see those little speckles here and there. The rest of us nice and clear. Winds will be strong out of the northwest, particularly for us in and around the Red River Valley, at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. And again, overnight, we start to see one or two clouds here or there, while the northeast does start to clear out considerably, so that's the good news. Our winds will be easing here in the northwest, and then into tomorrow, lots of sunshine on the way for the back end of the week and into the weekend. But we are keeping an eye on a good amount of instability here. Likely, we will be getting some rainfall coming our way, but it's going to take until the end of the weekend to arrive. For us here in Winnipeg today, 24 degrees, 23 is what's seasonal, and we're kind of sticking around that note for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, more sunshine, a high of 24, touch warmer on Friday, 25 degrees. The weekend, very hot indeed, 27 on both days, and then again, that rainfall likely to arrive overnight on Sunday. Your weather art of the day, drawn by 8-year-old Allison. A beautiful shot of the rainbow, the sunshine, the trees. Love what you've done here. And if you would like to submit your child's artwork or picture, do visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston and Regent.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is weighing in on Canada's trade retaliation. Kinew says provincial government contracts will give preference to firms not from the U.S., and it's looking at how these tariffs and Canada's counter tariffs will affect Manitoba businesses. This as Kinew confirms the province is drafting a tariff response of its own, saying he'll have more to share in the coming days.
I think it's important to have that balance, and you'll probably see us moving in a similar way as the province of Manitoba, because, yeah, absolutely. We have to keep the corporate sector moving along, but if there are the impacts on the actual workers and the people on the front lines, we have to make sure that we don't leave those folks behind either.
Canada's counter tariffs come into effect on September the 8th. The province's plan to roll out free transit passes for students this school year appears to be hitting a few roadblocks. Some say program information, especially regarding the phased approach, has been lacking.
The details have not exactly been well promoted, and honestly haven't been able to find much on the details.
George Lister is the dad of 3 grade 7 students who says he's in the dark about how the free transit pass program will work with only 2 weeks before the school bell rings. The province set aside $10 million in this year's budget to offer free transit for students ages 11 and up in a number of cities, including Winnipeg. Last week, Premier Wab Kinew said passes for grades 7 to 12 will be rolled out in phases. The staggered approach is being done to help schools and Winnipeg Transit manage the program while assessing the demands this will place on the system during an already busy time of the year.
Have enough buses. It will handle it in non-peak periods. I am very worried about peak periods.
The city has warned the provincial funding is not enough and could run out by March. And in June, Transit said it expected to cap the number of passes available at 30,000 based on 50% uptake. Now, Winnipeg Transit says it doesn't expect the passes will run out. They'll be valid for a full year from this September to August 2027. Winnipeg police have arrested 3 people in connection with a series of robberies police allege are linked to online dating sites. Winnipeg police say it happened at homes in the 400 block of Eugenie Street and the 500 block of Polson Avenue between February and August of this year. Police say the victims went there to see a woman they met online but were robbed at knife point. Police are alleging the suspects then took the victims' vehicles, made fraudulent purchases, and withdrew cash from ATMs before returning the vehicles. A 44-year-old woman and 51-year-old man are facing numerous charges, including kidnapping and multiple counts of robbery, uttering threats, and forcible confinement. A 61-year-old man is facing the same charges, as well as uttering threats and disguise with intent. None of the charges has been tested in court.
It's a little bit convoluted in the sense that the person didn't really hide their identity, the female that was arrested as the main perpetrator here. And the addresses are linked to the suspects, and the suspects do know one another. So, and as far as organization, there is some type of organization, but again, we don't always catch the right ones.
Police are continuing to investigate. They believe there may be more victims and are encouraging them to come forward. A decision to drop country of origin info from its produce labels is now being reversed by Loblaw. Earlier this month, shoppers started to notice and complain that the area on produce displays indicating where the food was grown has been left blank. Loblaw changed their labels at stores across the country, except for Ontario and Quebec, where there are provincial regulations mandating this type of labeling. But following a CBC News inquiry and after public concern, the grocer says it will reintroduce country of origin information in produce aisles and will be adding a T symbol on shelf labels for American products affected by U.S. tariffs. According to reports, CIA Director John Radcliffe is in Moscow to meet with Russian officials. This would be the first known visit to the capital by a U.S. spy chief in 5 years. Radcliffe's predecessor held talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin in November of 2021. U.S. media outlets did not report who he was visiting or what the talks are expected to cover. The CIA declined to comment. We want to show you a special reunion that took place Monday night in Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley. A Nova Scotia family paid a visit to fire and rescue professionals to thank them properly for rescuing their golden retriever from a cliff at a provincial park earlier this month. 4-year-old Reese was off leash on a trail when he went over the edge and fell some 21 meters before landing in some bushes. The Kings County rescue team launched a complicated operation to safely retrieve the retriever. His owners say he's doing well, but won't be allowed off leash at all on trails anytime soon. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic on Pembina Highway. Southbound, things appear to be moving well, but northbound, things are a little slower in this part of the city, as you can see here, but overall moving. If you have any problems out there, please send us a text to let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
The Kidney Walk is coming up on September 20th at Kings Park, and anybody can participate and support the cause. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. What a beautiful morning it is. I'm fingers crossed that it's like this on the 20th, but you know what? Kidney patients are resilient, rain or shine. Ashley, thanks for being here once again. Tell us about the Kidney Walk.
So our Kidney Walk is coming up September 20th here at Kings Park. It's a beautiful celebration of fundraising and community coming together for kidney patients across our province.
And when you say for kidney patients, literally, they are the receivers of the funds. Why is it so important, especially given how much times are tough?
Life is expensive. Living with dialysis and having kidney disease is also expensive. Kidney patients can face up to $2,000 in out-of-pocket expenses every single month. So our programs and services aim to help alleviate that burden. So whether that's through our short-term financial assistance program, where we support groceries and gas and prescription, any level of support that we can offer these patients that are facing that burden, we don't want them to face it alone.
And kids too. There's some activities for them starting today.
Yes, so today is our first day of Kidney Camp, which is also funded through Kidney Walk. It's a beautiful time where kids get to be kids at camp. So they get to experience all the joys of a summer camp while getting to know their friends that also have kidney disease. It is an isolating disease, so we want them to get to know that they're not alone. They have a whole community supporting them, and we just want them to feel this warm embrace that we can offer.
The walk does that too. First time at Kings Park, I'm not going to lie. Nobody come after me. It's a beautiful place. I'm going to have to come back. But why is it just such a good location for the walk and the people participating?
The walk is great here because our paths are easy, they're accessible. We have our partners at Reliable Mobility that provide power scooters. So no matter what your ability is, no matter what your concerns may be, we try to address it here at Kings Park with the Kidney Walk, making sure that the community feels welcomed, whether you're young or whether you're senior citizen walking. We really try and make sure that everybody feels welcome.
Thank you. September 20th. Do it by yourself or register with a team.
Gorgeous day to get out for a stroll. Let's take a look through the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Yeah, sunny and gorgeous to kick us off, as will be the case through much of the day and through much of the week. Love to say that. Temperatures starting off on a warm note in Morden and Winkler at 17 degrees, 15 in Portage La Prairie, over in Dauphin 13 degrees this hour. I understand, Brandon, you've had a bit of a misty morning. You're at 12. Let me move out of the way so folks in northwestern Ontario can see that it's 16 degrees currently in Kenora. Very similar values currently unfolding across the north, but the further north you go, the cooler we get, as is usually the case. 10 degrees in Lynn Lake, 11 in Thompson, 11 in Churchill, excuse me, 12 in Thompson. Not a lot to show you on our radar because, yes, it's so darn clear out there. Lots of sunshine on the way through most of the province, Winnipeg included. But one of the caveats here is some very strong winds will be ramping up throughout the day. 16 degrees this hour with those northerly winds, but they get really strong into the afternoon. Out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. We're really hovering around 23 degrees through most of the afternoon, but we're going to likely get a touch warmer than that. 24 is our projected high. Overnight, temperatures take a pretty substantial dip. It's a cooler overnight low than we're used to. And with it, those northwesterly winds do ease at about 20 kilometers per hour. 1 or 2 clouds lingering, but they should taper off in time for Thursday. Lots of sunshine on the way. Another warm above seasonal high of 24 degrees. And you ain't seen nothing yet, because look at that. Mother Nature turning up the heat into the weekend. 25 on Friday, 27 on Saturday and Sunday. We're taking a break. So much more on the other side.
Good morning. The federal government not only announced the implementation of tariffs on nearly $28 billion worth of U.S. imports yesterday, but it also pledged $7.5 billion towards support measures for workers and businesses. And joining us now with reaction to that part of the announcement is Dennis Darby, President and CEO of the Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, first of all, let's start with reaction to yesterday's announcement. Were you surprised with the announcement?
Well, certainly we weren't surprised because the government had been very clear that it was going to go ahead with retaliatory tariffs. The scope is quite large. In fact, we're still pouring through the data. There are probably about 900 items across so many different categories of manufactured goods. But that's part of the story, and we knew it was happening. The second part is obviously about how the supports. But the retaliatory tariffs, our only concern, and the concern of all manufacturers, is that we don't inadvertently tariff inputs that companies in Canada need to manufacture to ultimately sell either in Canada or the U.S. So we'll be working really closely with the government to make sure that they have systems in place. They're called remissions. If you can't find a particular part that's now been tariffed, there's usually a way to avoid that tariff because it's part of a whole supply chain.
Okay, so let's talk about you're going through the list. You say there's about 900 different products on that list. From what you've seen so far, what is your impression? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the government said they were going to go dollar for dollar, and in many of the same categories. So things like windows and doors, things made from wood, plastics and rubber, some chemicals and cosmetics. So many things that it was very much mirrored to a degree. It mirrored some of the things that were on the Canadian list. Now, some things are consumer products. You saw in there things like appliances. Now, Canada doesn't make a lot of appliances, large appliances, but still, it'll have an impact. I think it will have an impact in some of those states that are important in the U.S. So I think there are two sides to it. One is to try to make sure that Canadian companies aren't inadvertently affected by the U.S. tariffs and maybe have a chance to compete. And the other side, of course, there's always a political side when you put retaliatory tariffs, because you're also trying to send a message to the other side.
Now, out of the products that you've seen, are many of them being manufactured here, or are they items that we don't see here in Canada?
Well, no, for example, so steel and aluminum and things made with steel and aluminum are now attracting a 50% tariff. And that's just matching what the U.S. has done to Canada. So in that particular case, it's a one-for-one. Now, does that affect manufacturers across Canada, out west, everywhere? Probably, because we have these integrated supply chains, over the decades, both Canada and the U.S. don't make identical stuff. So we may make one grade of the steel or one type of product, and they make a different one. So I think the art will be how to make sure that we don't cause a double whammy, so to speak, for Canadian manufacturers who have to then buy something, an input that now is attracting a 50% tariff, and then make the product they need to make, and then try to sell it to the U.S. and get tariffed again. So that's what we're going to work on over the next little while. It's mostly those kinds of things. Okay, now the federal government also pledged $7.5 billion to support workers and businesses. What are your thoughts on that? Well, first of all, for your listeners, you know that we've had tariffs in place under the sectoral tariffs, the Section 232, for about 18 months, and the government has had very good support programs that help companies affected by those tariffs on steel, aluminum, and automobiles, and all the things made from those steel and aluminum, for example, and wood. So this is just an expansion, and so we met with some government officials yesterday. They've increased some of the levels, so it's a little bit more chance to get some money to help liquidity companies that'll be short of cash, easier and probably easier to access wage subsidies, and really importantly, making this second tranche of the extra $7.5 billion, while it will affect large companies, it also allows small manufacturers to access, because in the past most of the programs are too complex, too difficult, and sometimes have too many criteria for a small manufacturer. From what we've seen, the new relief measures will be easier to access, and that's going to be important for companies across Canada who maybe up till now, if we go back a week, we're trading tariff-free, so it will really help those companies. Okay, now these counter tariffs aren't expected to start until September 8th. Are you hoping the Trump administration will come back to the negotiating table before then? Well, and as I've said over and over, manufacturers across Canada in every province, of course we appreciate the supports, but what they want to do is trade. The U.S. still remains our biggest trading partner. It is the best market to be able to access. So yes, at the end of the day, the best outcome is that the two sides, come back together and basically get back to, more or less free trade. I'm sure the U.S. will never go back to the way it was under the original CUSMA, but at least get to a point where we have predictability, because predictability right now is what's really hurting manufacturing across Canada. Companies are not investing. Companies aren't making investment decisions or technology decisions. They're not training their employees. And it's also the same in the U.S. The U.S., for our counterparts in the U.S., having the same problem. This uncertainty because of the back forth is really causing a lot of business, loss of confidence in business across North America. Dennis, thanks for your time today. Thank you.
Sunny start to our day and a decently warm one at that. We're currently at 16 degrees in Winnipeg. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising. Humidity sits at 93%. So most of the province going to be soaking up plenty of sunshine today, and temperatures at or even in some cases above seasonal. For us in Winnipeg, 24 degrees, maybe a bit warmer for Brandon, Neighbour. From there, we're also going to be dealing with some pretty strong northwesterly winds. For us in Winnipeg, 30 gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour, particularly in the early afternoon. Lesser winds expected to the southwest in and around Brandon, Neepawa again, and to the parkland, but still pretty strong. The northwest into the Paw and Flin Flon, lots of sunshine for you. Temperatures peaking in the low 20s. Our outlier here is the northeast. Cloudier skies, more considerably cloudier than what we're seeing here in the south. Plus a low chance of rainfall throughout, maybe some instability. Likely, though, it's just going to be cloudy. Temperatures cooler, peaking in the upper teens to low 20s. Overnight tonight, skies remain clear in Winnipeg. Winds ease, temperatures dipping to 11. Coming in for a landing at Lockport. Thanks so much to Vladimir for snapping this photo of this pelican. And keep your weather pictures coming to us. We'd love to see them. Email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
Welcome back. It's estimated that within the next 4 years, nearly 1 million people in Canada will be living with dementia. Mandy Gaither has 5 daily habits that can help keep our brains healthy.
For years, Linda Barber helped her mother care for her father and his cognitive decline.
He hid it from us for a long time.
After his death, Barber says genetic testing showed she too was at high risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, and her concern then turned to her own child.
I want to be around and cognitive for my son.
That's how Barber met Dr. Douglas Shari, a neurologist with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. She learned 5 daily habits that can protect the brain and slow the progression of cognitive decline, regardless of age or family history.
Use it or lose it. It's very much true for the brain.
First, Shari says to get physical exercise. It's not only good for your heart and muscles, but moving your body boosts your brain. Next, do mental exercises. Keep your brain stimulated. Shari says to do that through puzzles and games and by staying social. Get off your phone and away from the television and engage in conversation. Third, maintain good nutrition. He recommends a Mediterranean diet with lots of fruits and vegetables and limiting red meats and processed sugars. Fourth, prioritize quality sleep. Keep bedtime routines and treat conditions like sleep apnea and high blood pressure to ensure you're getting those good Z's. And finally, reduce stress levels. That can include managing mental health conditions like depression and anxiety.
If I can keep my cognitive going, then I'm going to be able to still have an enriched life.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Some sobering new data on the financial pressure facing Canadians. A new survey shows consumer debt loads are growing at the fastest pace in years. Here's CTV's Maria Saru on what's driving the surge and who's most vulnerable.
More Canadians fell seriously behind on payments in the second quarter of the year, with financial stress concentrated in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Ontario.
Larger debt burdens are making, make some consumers more vulnerable to financial and economic shocks. And so they're using, in some cases, credit to offset cash flow.
According to TransUnion, Canadians carrying non-mortgage debt owed an average of $28,118. That's up 7.6% from a year ago. In total, consumer debt hit more than $2.6 trillion. At banks across the country, people are borrowing more money, with balances on car loans, personal loans, lines of credit, and credit cards all growing. Auto loans led the increase, up nearly 8%. And there are more signs of pressure. Growth in new mortgages slowed significantly.
Now that interest rates have sort of leveled off, we're starting to see more of a leveling off in new mortgages. So it's not necessarily a decrease, but it's certainly down from, the peak we saw over the last couple of years.
At the same time, more people are declaring bankruptcy or filing consumer proposals to restructure their debt, with the insolvency rate reaching a 2-year high. While the Canadian credit market remains relatively resilient, the outlook for the second half of the year depends on what happens next with inflation and tariffs.
What we thought might have been sort of a gradual recovery going through 2026 might end up being a little bit of an uneven recovery.
The impact will vary by region and sector. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
This is a look at your drive now in this part of the city. It looks like things are moving well in Osborne Street. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
start to our Wednesday out there. 16 degrees, clear and sunny. Winds are out of the west-northwest, pretty light. Barometric pressure on the rise, humidity at 93%. Those winds won't be staying light for long. It's going to be a pretty gusty day out there, particularly in the Red River Valley. However, there's very little to show you on our radar. It's pretty clear throughout most of the province, with the exception of Brandon. I understand it's been a bit of a misty morning as we push in. You don't see much in the way of that precipitation and barely anything in terms of that cloud coverage. To the northeast, however, you're kind of the only exception to this blanket forecast of sunny and warm. You have a low chance of some showers and some cooler temperatures. 19 degrees in Island Lake, 17 in Gillam, just 12 degrees your high in Churchill, 21 though in Thompson, decently warm there. Clear and likely to stay that way throughout the northwest. Temperatures there also warmer, peaking for the most part in the low 20s. Lynn Lake, a bit of an outlier there at 18 degrees. Much clearer in the south and very warm. Brandon and Ipoh likely the hot spot of the province today with highs of 25. Touch cooler the further north we go. Dauphin at 23 degrees. For us here, I mentioned those winds. They're going to be likely very strong for us in the Red River Valley out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Highs at or just above seasonal, 24 degrees for us here in Winnipeg. Northwestern Ontario could be a bit of a rainy one, particularly for Dryden. Fort Francis, Kenora has a lower chance of those showers, likely overcast with highs at around 23 degrees. For us overnight, those winds will mercifully ease. I don't care for those winds. Temperatures dipping down to about 11. Couple clouds here or there, but for the most part clear. Tomorrow, more sunshine, more hot highs of 24 degrees. And then the heat really goes through a bit of an upward trajectory into the weekend. Try saying that 5 times fast. 25 on Friday, even hotter on Saturday at 27. Sunday, clearer at 27 as well. However, overnight, those showers likely to roll in, setting the stage for a soggy start to next week.
The Canadian Taxpayers Federation is calling on Manitoba's Premier to ease the pain at the pump.
When you head to the pumps in Manitoba, you pay 3 different gas taxes.
The Federation's 28th annual gas tax honesty report says Manitobans are paying 27 cents per litre in taxes alone when they fill up. This includes GST, a carbon tax, and the provincial gas tax.
Head to the pump, you're paying about $21 to fill up a minivan in just tax, about $27 in just tax to fill up a pickup truck.
And that could jump even higher next month if the Prime Minister ends the federal fuel tax cut, which went into effect in April. The Taxpayers Federation is calling on Premier Wab Kinew to call for an extension of that cut, as well as suspending the provincial gas tax to help ease rising gas prices. New housing options are now available for students of a northern Manitoba college. University College of the North has officially opened a new student residence at its Flin Flon campus. It features 30 rooms, including 22 student suites and 8 executive suites for instructors and visiting professionals. There's also a dining hall, commercial kitchen, and recreation space. UCN, the Manitoba government, Prairie Scan, and the Manitoba Mineral Development Fund provided $2 million toward construction. New this morning, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex could arrive back in the UK today. This is according to reporting from the BBC, which says Prince Harry, Meghan, and their 2 children are believed to be flying in from California. The report also says they are returning before the start of school next week. Although they are moving back to the UK, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not return to official royal duties. Squishy toys are popular, but if you have them in your home, you may want to take a closer look. Amazon is removing many counterfeit versions of popular brands that were being sold online because they could leak, break open, and pose a serious health risk. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Loved by kids, the bright, colorful squishy balls are often marketed as calming sensory tools. But there have been cases showing the sticky gel from some toys left kids with red, irritated, or peeling skin. Amazon told CTV News following safety concerns, some squishy toys have been removed from its website. Earlier this month, the Consumer Product Safety Commission issued a warning about fake and counterfeit squishy toys that may pose serious risks to children. Consumer Reports found children were injured after squishy toys burst open.
We do know that the risks are not just limited to counterfeit products. And we know that because as part of our investigation, our safety experts bought several toys and tested the gel inside. And one had an acidic pH, the same as lemon juice or vinegar. And a pH like that can cause severe skin irritation, especially in children who have more delicate skin.
Health Canada received 32 reports regarding squishy toys. 4 mention an injury such as headache, skin rash, and difficulty breathing, and is reviewing the reports to determine whether the products meet all regulatory requirements. It's difficult and sometimes impossible for a parent to determine based on a package or online listing whether a squishy toy is counterfeit. And many of the incidents reported involved name brand products purchased at major retailers.
Right now, parents need more information because the safety risks may not just be limited to fake or off-brand toys.
Health Canada warns do not leave squishy toys in hot cars in direct sunlight on dashboards or other hot surfaces, as heat can cause them to burst and become a dangerous burn hazard. If your child is playing with these squishy toys, a few strategies can keep them safe. Don't give gel-filled toys to babies or toddlers. Check for holes or tears frequently, and if one does break on your child's skin, wash it off right away and throw out the toy. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Here's what's happening right now on Portage Avenue at Polo Park. It looks like things are pretty smooth this morning. If you see any problems out there, though, let us know, please. And here's a look at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.63. It's the lowest price in the city is $1.46. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Well, it's time now for your answers to our question of the day. We wanted to know what's something you loved about Dolly Parton. Susan loved everything about Dolly, especially Jolene. Janet says she was down-to-earth icon and a legend. I loved all her music also. Marlene loved her humble spirit, kindness, and coat of many colors. Her smile and down-to-earth personality, shared a viewer. Trevor loved Dolly Parton's kindness and charisma, her humility, says Tracy. For Kathy, it was her smile, her spirit, her voice, everything that was Dolly. Patricia texted Dolly was a much needed angel on earth, and we needed that. John loved Dolly's beautiful sense of humor, her voice, and her generous and loving heart. Today said that Dolly Parton was the queen of country. She was kind and very generous. My favorite was her literacy program, mailing millions of free books to children. A viewer shared Dolly's laughter was infectious, childlike, miss her already. Diane says what was not to love about Dolly, her spirit, her authenticity, her generosity, her talent. She was like no other. Sherry loved her beautiful smile and powerful voice. Her kindness and generosity was beyond words. And for Joyce, Dolly was a beautiful soul inside and out. She could sing like birds. She was the kindest and loving soul and always wanted to make a difference in the world. Thank you so much for your responses. For me, it was her laugh. All right, let's go now to Ainsley, who also has a great laugh. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. And you know what's funny? We did for Halloween, if you guys remember, I dressed up as Kenny Rogers very well, and our Kenny dressed up as Dolly Parton. So we had Ainsley as Kenny as Dolly, and it was amazing. So that's probably one of my favorite Dolly memories. Aww. Thank you guys so much for being here, Sharon and George, Bradley. We're talking about the kidney walk and kidney disease. Having to deal with dialysis, my goodness. Sharon, you guys were at the hospital last night at 11:30, so thank you so much for coming in. It's such a grind. How are you feeling, and what toll has this taken on you, really?
I'm feeling really quite well now. I've been on hemodialysis for almost a month, and I had been on peritoneal dialysis for about 6 months prior to that. The peritoneal wasn't working very well for me, so I was not feeling well, and I was pretty sick all the time. So my doctor said we're going to try the hemo, and after just 9 treatments, I am feeling a whole lot better. If I didn't have the swelling in my legs and the water retention, I would feel normal.
Well, that's good to hear, but it's so much work going into those. Without a support system, it's not easy. How does it feel knowing that you have your guy?
George is a rock. He takes such good care of me, and he takes me back and forth. We go to the hospital 3 times a week, and we're there for 5 hours at a time. We get there at 6, we get home at 11:30. So it does take a toll on, every evening having to think about, well, tomorrow I got to go, or tonight I got to go. But he takes me every time, and he sits with me and talks to me while I'm getting my treatment. He's the best.
That's what it's all about. And when it comes to donations, you're on it. You even gave me a QR code. It's in my pocket, but it's a little too tight to grab. But can we talk about the donation efforts this year?
As every year, this is our 5th year now here at the walk. and we try our best. I've got a lot of great people behind me. We couldn't do what we do without everybody's help that makes that few dollars donations, some big donations. They're amazing. So I'm just the guy that takes the money and hands it over to the Kidney Foundation, and they use it for some awesome things. One of the best things I thought about when we first got in was the kids camp. That's what got me really going on it. That's before Sharon was even on dialysis.
Congratulations on all of the donations. Thank you for being here after a long night. This is the QR code.
All right. Well, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It looks beautiful at the park. It's beautiful on the rooftop. How's it feeling?
It feels lovely, Rochelle. Yes, a good day to get out and enjoy, take a stroll, and yeah, start thinking about raising some money for the Kidney Foundation. Great cause. 16 degrees right now. Winds are light out of the west-northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 93%. Last I checked, Brandon, you are still misting, while the rest of us dealing with lots of sunshine to kick us off, and this will be the case throughout the day. Highs expected at or just above seasonal for us in Winnipeg, 24 degrees, even warmer in Brandon and Nepo at 25. The other kind of main takeaway here, the weather story, is the winds out of the northwest today in the Red River Valley as strong as 30 to 50 clicks. The northeast, low chance of rain, about a 30% shot. Likely, though, just overcast for you, while areas further to the northwest, in and around the Paw and Flin Flon, gorgeous and sunny with highs in the low 20s. For us here in Winnipeg, skies stay clear overnight, winds ease, temperatures dip to 11, and tomorrow another warm one, 24 degrees with sunshine, and plenty more of that on tap for the weekend as well.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
It's back to school season, and that can be tough on students' backs. Proper fit and weight distribution for backpacks can help lighten the load as kids return to class. CTV's Christine Long has more.
4 friends excited about going back to school, but they're carrying a lot of baggage. Keena Burton's backpack is well over 10 pounds.
It's heavy in the bottom, but the top, I don't think there's any space in it.
Pediatric occupational therapist Sabrina Monsenego says a child's backpack should not be more than 10% of their body weight.
We don't want the child to be holding it with one strap, kind of slouching, and we don't want it to be sitting too low on the back either.
Kind of heavy, but like over here it bothers me here.
Monsenego says properly adjusted padded straps can help distribute the load of books and water bottles.
Backpack has a strap like this that kind of goes around the chest or the waist. The weight distribution will be a lot better that way too.
It can feel really heavy, especially on the first and last day of school, because you have a lot of stuff and you're bringing everything home.
Posture is important to avoid neck, shoulder, or upper back pain.
Backpacks with a lot of compartments so that you can easily place the books so that they're well aligned.
Sometimes when it's like a really hot day and I come back from school and like my school stuff is all in here, like it's kind of like, it's like uncomfortable.
Pain or discomfort from improperly carried backpacks can lead to more challenges in the classroom.
Slouching at your desk, not being able to efficiently copy from the board, leaning their chin on their hand while they're writing.
A little planning can make back to school less of a pain in the neck. Christine Long, CTV News.
Parents, get ready. Students are weeks away from returning to the classroom. Their days of no schedules, sleeping in, and relaxation are over. And it's time to start thinking about getting them on track for learning. And joining us now with advice on how to do that is Tutor Bright's Chelsea Arns. Good morning, Chelsea.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Now, this is the time. We're like 2 weeks away from back to school. Kids are sleeping in, they're staying up super late at night, they haven't cracked open a book in a while. What do we need to do? How do we get them back to getting back on track?
Yeah, I think that's the question on every parent's mind is how do I get my kid awake so we can get out the door for school? And I say, you know what, it doesn't have to be done in one day. So I think between now and when school starts, start getting your child to bed even just 15 minutes earlier and start getting them up 15 minutes earlier, right? Start setting those alarm clocks and start talking about school too. Start getting excited about what your child has. Maybe they're excited about seeing their friends again or making new friends, or maybe they're excited about what social, what after-school extracurricular clubs they can join this year.
Right.
So turning on like what is getting them excited about going back to school will help them get into the mindset of, okay, this is what I got to do to get myself ready.
Of course, buying new clothes, getting new school supplies is a way to get them excited.
Yeah.
But then there's also the whole thought of like dragging themselves to school again, probably that worry about learning, sitting still in a classroom.
Yeah.
But they could get excited about that too.
Yeah, and I think, you know, reducing screen time, a lot of kids have had a lot of screen time over the summer.
Yes.
So if we can start reducing that screen time, they will be less irritable when school starts. They'll be better able to like follow instructions, to listen to their teacher. It'll help them to be more engaged as well.
And reading.
And reading.
Is a big part of getting rid of that summer learning slide, because that is a real thing. Where they were when school was over is not where they're at right now.
Yeah, they say on average children lose between 2.5 grade points over the summer.
Wow.
So we want them to start reading, getting their brains active, even if it's doing a family activity like baking, right? So then they're reading. There's math involved in baking with the measurements. It's following instructions. It's execution. So things like that, or having them start reading before bed every night. If you've got little ones, reading them a couple books before bed, going over the alphabet sounds, or even just simple, just getting their brains refreshed on their multiplication, facts, things like that go a long way.
We see it every day with the traffic camera. Traffic is really low, barely anyone out there. So just that routine of getting back to that school, back to school. Life is busy. You have things going on after school. You need to be organized.
Yeah, I think that if you as a parent haven't already set up a calendar for the family, whether it be like, on an app, an electronic calendar, even just a paper calendar on the fridge or on the wall, getting your student, your child involved in their schedule and what they're going to have come school start, what time they got to be at school, and then what extracurricular activities they might have after school. Getting them involved and scheduling that stuff in so they know what the expectations are for the week, for the day. Getting them involved in that teaches them independence, time management, organization, but allows them to be involved in that process.
Also, you should be able to reach out to the teacher just to make sure your kid stays on track when that school year begins, right?
Yeah, so I think building connections, building relationships with your child's teacher early on is really important. And I think that first comes with knowing, how do I contact my child's teacher? Do I email them? Is it a phone call? Towards the end of the school year, sometimes we hear parents at Tutor Bright say, I didn't even know my child had a problem, right?
Okay.
And so really knowing how to reach out to your child's teacher to ask how your child's doing in the classroom early on is important. And then knowing what academic supports are available to your child. So at Tutor Bright, we've been around here in Winnipeg for over 13 years. We do in-home and online one-on-one tutoring.
Yeah.
So we're someone that can really help your child achieve their academic goals.
Chelsea, thank you so much. And I think parents and kids should be ready soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We do have a little bit of summer left to enjoy before heading back to school, so get out and enjoy because it's lovely out there currently. 16 degrees, winds out of the west-northwest at 13 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity at 93%. Not a lot to show you on our radar because it's so nice and clear to kick off our day. However, different story over in northwestern Ontario. A little bit of instability there. Good chance of rain in and around Dryden and Fort Frances today. For us, though, we can keep those umbrellas in the closet because it's going to be nice and clear and sunny. A high of 24 degrees. Some pretty strong northwesterly winds is kind of our other takeaway at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour, likely very strong into the afternoon. They do taper overnight gladly. Temperatures dip down to 11 degrees, 1 or 2 clouds sticking around, but they clear off nicely into tomorrow. A high of 24, tons of sunshine. We get even hotter into the weekend. Friday 25, Saturday and Sunday both 27 with sunshine before some overnight showers bring a soggy start to next week. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. Your videos on the day on the other side.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, here's proof that when you take pride in your work, no matter what it is, people notice.
Wow, wow. Oh my God.
This couple noticed how perfectly stacked all the items in the freezer section was at their local grocery store, from fries to frozen peas. Everything was front facing, so you could see the brand name and find what you needed with ease. They were actually able to track down the worker and have set up a GoFundMe for him because they believe he deserves a raise.
Imagine putting all that work and then seeing people come and like rifling through it and messing everything up. Oh,
it's just like when you work in retail.
Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
playing with that.
I folded those perfectly.
Yeah. Now, sometimes when you're exercising at home, you just need a little bit of moral support.
Hey, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Push that.
And this man decided to back up his fiance by doing her pregnancy workouts alongside her, and he really keeps the energy up to help her complete each challenge. I would get annoyed.
It would be a lot of energy for me when I don't want that when I'm working out.
I'll just do this by myself.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a way to calm down your baby, maybe hire these women. Lara and her grandmother are professional singers, and when they perform, they put these two babies in a trance. Oh yeah, they're fascinated indeed.
Good.
That does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.